Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is ASO Tarot, and the fact that you're seeing this reading means I survived the eclipse. And today's pick a card reading, we are keeping it light because I just kind of need that right now. So we are going to be looking at your person's daydreams about you, and also in the extended, we are going to look at their 18 plus daydream slash fantasy. So really excited for that. But before we get into it, I do have a couple of announcements. The first one is that if you are unaware, scammers had my Instagram deleted, so I had to make a new one. It's not a big deal, we're starting fresh, so I just wanted to let you guys know. I'll have the link for that down below. But if you wondered where my account went, scammers got it. That's what happened. So my new account is at Real ASO Tarot, REALESOTAROT. Also, I have merch. So if you guys were unaware, I have been working with Crowdmade, and we have a ton of different styles to choose from, including t-shirts, hoodies, and we also have a limited edition beanie. So be sure to check that out because once it's gone, it will be gone forever. But let's go ahead and get into today's reading because we're using all new tarot cards. They are all indie decks, and I'm really excited to get into them. So the first pile, we have this Strawberry Quartz cube and the Gothmancy Tarot. Pile 2, we have this aura-coated clear quartz heart and the Superlunaris Tarot. Pile 3, we have the Cosmic Visions Tarot and this Larimar moon. And for pile 4, we have the Revival Tarot and this Labradorite rose. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It's absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. I'm doing an energy check at the beginning of every reading, so you'll know if the reading is for you or not. But yeah, other than that, be sure to check out all the links and report any scammers on Instagram if you see them, because the scammers that got my account deleted still exist, unfortunately, and despite being reported, Instagram has not done anything about it, which is unfortunate, but c'est la vie. So go ahead, pause the video if you need to figure out which pile you feel most drawn to, and once you have picked your pile, you can scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I will have all of the timestamps listed for each pile, and then we will get into your reading. Hi there, pile 1. If you guys chose the Strawberry Quartz Cube and the Gothmancy Tarot, this is going to be your reading. But to make sure that this is the connection you're asking about, or this reading is even relevant to you, I am going to look at the overall energies of the connection first. I kind of want to apologize for the lighting. Where this room is, it's not really a good angle to get sunlight, but I didn't want to completely block out the sun before it got dark. So hopefully you can still see everything. But if this energy does not match your connection or the person you're asking about, and it doesn't match anyone that you're aware of, because sometimes spirit will have someone come through that maybe wasn't on your mind but you need to hear about, I would check a different pile. I'm going to do these in each pile so you don't have to sit through it. I feel with things like daydreams, those can be super fluid, so I want y'all to have a real understanding of, oh, okay, this message is actually for me. So let's start with the overall energy of the connection. We have Ask Body, and we have the Creator, and then we're going to look at the first person. So I decided to pull 2 animal cards, and the first one for the first person is the Swan, and this is going to represent the first person's higher self, and then their 3D self is represented by the Raccoon. And then their energies towards the connection are Angel of Love, Birds of a Feather, and Rejection. And then the second person's higher self is being represented by the Zebra, and their 3D self is being represented by the Elk. I'm just gonna kind of put that on the top there. And then their energies in the connection are a higher view, anxiety, and finally gratitude. So just by looking at this, the first thing that I can tell is that these are definitely two very like creative people, obviously with the creator there, but there is a lot in both people and then in the connection itself where there's a lot of just creative energy, which is interesting because typically you would see like the sacral chakra coming through, but we have like higher chakras here. For this person, it's the third eye, and for this person, it's the crown. But the biggest thing that I'm seeing here is that these two people seem to be in very solitary energies. So I would say in this situation, either these are two people that are not together, they could be in separation, no contact. However, I could also definitely see this being a case where you could be dating this person or could be with this person and maybe it's long distance, or maybe it's difficult to talk to them. Like an example I could think of is maybe one person is like, or maybe both of you could be like in the military or something like that, where there's just a physical distance. It does kind of seem like both of these people, animals, but people, are kind of just in their own energies, but there's an emphasis on this connection for both of them. So I'm going to start with the swan person. So this person is definitely in a very creative energy. Their higher self is like vibing very, very hard. I guess that's a horrible word to use, but they're actually both of these people, their higher selves have like very overactive imaginations right now. I feel like there's probably a lot of awakenings going on with both of these people. With the swan person though, I feel like they are really in their creative energy, and I definitely sense more of a hermit mode with this person. It's possible they could be hanging out with like a few very close trusted people, but I almost feel like they could be mostly by themselves, and instead what's around them is a lot of just spiritual energy. I do feel like this connection is a source of inspiration for the swan person. I do feel like this raccoon kind of highlights that they don't really feel very confident in what they're going after right now. They might not be feeling very confident in this connection. They might be hiding from this connection in some way. The fact that their 3D self is represented by this raccoon, it does kind of show that maybe they are afraid to put themselves out there, afraid to put their creations out there. There is a fear of rejection here, but the beautiful thing is that this person is trying to find a balance between love and fear, and how to overcome that fear with love. I did want to say too, as I'm doing this, if both of these sound like you, then I would say that the energies are just mirrored, but if some things are flip-flop, don't freak out. Like, you can reassign them, but you should be able to tell which one is you and which one is them. And if they sound really similar, I would say that's because there's a lot of mirroring going on. But yeah, this swan person is definitely in their feels a little bit. And I do think that is something that's kind of propelling them forward. I do think at this time too, Spirit is kind of bringing forth a lot of triggers, or if not triggers, things that are mirroring the swan's energy. And I think that this swan is having like a higher perspective of why these things have to happen. But I think the disconnect kind of happening right now is that because the swan's 3D self is the raccoon, so 3D just means physical, the physical self is maybe a little bit more afraid, maybe a little just hermity right now. They might have a disconnect in how to channel all of this inspiration they're getting into the 3D. So kind of what Spirit is highlighting here is that there might be a fear of rejection from this person. There might be a fear of rejection about their creations. And I think what one thing that Spirit is highlighting here is that they are either having trouble finding anyone that truly understands them, probably besides this person or even in addition to this person, or the very few people that are around them are the only people that this person feels safe having around right now. I do feel like Spirit wants me to confirm that this person is protected and that the inspiration that they are channeling is very divine. But the one thing holding this person back from kind of embodying more of their truer self and getting their creations out there is just their fear. So it does kind of seem like this swan person slash raccoon person is their own worst enemy right now. Now, when looking at the zebra slash elk person, it does seem like this person is almost a victim of circumstance, is kind of something that I was hearing. Their 3D self is focused on trying to have stability. One thing that I can tell with both of these people is that neither of them are very grounded right now, either because of things going on in their lives or just fears, things that have been happening that have been kind of upsetting. It seems like this elk person is kind of fighting, I heard a losing battle, but I don't think it's a losing battle. I think that's just kind of their belief with this anxiety card here. This person is just as inspired by this connection as the swan person is. The fact that we have the zebra and the swan, I think, goes to show that these are two very unique individuals. And I think that these are two people that really understand each other on like a soul level, on a really deep level, but on a practical level, it may be more difficult. I see both of these people trying to figure out how to bring what's in their head and bring their inspirations to life. I feel like both of these people may be trying to either make this connection work, or if this connection is not working, then I think that they are drawing inspiration from this connection, either the feelings they get from it, the passion they feel for it. There's a lot of red with this person, and I think that makes a lot of sense because I do think that they are trying to use material things to kind of like feel more secure, if that makes sense. One thing that I do like seeing here is that this person is really grateful for the swan person. Maybe the swan person rejected them, or the swan person or the zebra person rejected the swan person. And in that case, I feel like the swan person is seeing above that and understanding that it wasn't really personal. I don't think it was, at least. But I think this elk person is trying to look at this connection from a more spiritual place, which maybe is something that they're not used to doing. But I think that with this zebra card here, it's not that they don't have the same abilities that the swan does. It's just that maybe they're less used to tapping into them. Maybe because they're used to being very grounded. So maybe this almost is a little like jarring for them, where they're kind of stuck in their head rather than focused on what they need to be focused on. This person could be a parent. Obviously, genders don't matter here, but what I do see is that this elk person, in the midst of all this craziness, is just trying to find stability in their everyday life. But I do see that even when they are going about their daily routines and everything like that, they have this really rich inner imagination that goes wild. I feel like already they definitely do fantasize about this connection, have daydreams about this person. Same for the swan person, and I feel like maybe the swan person is more aware of what this connection is, or the nature of this connection, because I feel like the zebra slash elk person, I feel like they never thought that they could connect with somebody like that. And so I do think that they are kind of going back and forth between, is this a real thing? Is it not? Or will this be something lasting? Or is this worth my time? Sort of thing like that. There's a lot of just rumination with them. Like tapping into their energy on this side kind of like makes my head hurt. But what I can see here, what I find interesting, is that we have this like rainbow in the creator card, and you can see it in the zebra card here, and then around the swan. So I feel like the zebra person is finding a lot of creation like within their mind's eye, not creation, a lot of inspiration within their mind's eye. Whereas I think the swan is maybe finding a lot of inspiration in their surroundings. But what I find interesting is that their 3D selves are both represented by earth energies, but their higher selves are represented by water and by fire. So The Zebra person is kind of more fueled by their passion right now, whereas the Swan person is more fueled by their emotions. But the biggest like blockage that I'm seeing here between these two people is that practical matters and just the requirements of the daily life on the physical plane is holding both of these people back. The fact that we have Ask Body here, I think really goes to show how like psychically and spiritually gifted both of these people are, but they might feel really disconnected from it because they're not really sure, like I said, how to rein it in and bring it inwards. It's like both of these people have like a higher perspective and are seeing things from like a higher mind. But I think Spirit is trying to get both of these people to redirect what they are feeling. Instead of trying to elevate, it's almost like they need to integrate like the guidance that they're receiving, integrate the messages that they're getting, and understand how they can look deeper within themselves to understand what guidance is coming from above. But overall, this creator energy definitely seems to be an inspiration for both of these people. I think both of these people are trying to keep a positive attitude about this. And like I said, there should be a lot of different scenarios here. But I think while the 3D reality of this connection may seem mundane or non-existent, the 5D energy surrounding it between these two higher selves and the connection as a whole is really like, it's like they took a dial and turned it all the way up, and then the dial broke and now it's stuck there. It's almost like both of these people are just getting, I don't want to say hammered, but like just bombarded with energy about this connection. They can probably feel each other. And one thing I do want to say is that it seems like these two have a very unique energetic imprint. So it does kind of seem like, at the very least, the Swan person can tell when they feel the Zebra's energy around. And I think the Zebra isn't really aware that they are feeling like the Swan's energy, but I think that they often think of the Swan or have like daydreams, visions about the Swan, probably dreams as well, and that kind of keeps them going back to thinking about it. At the end of the day, though, there definitely does seem to be like more of like a calmness about this situation on the Swan side, whereas the Zebra is trying to find the silver linings of this connection, but also I do feel like they are overthinking about this connection a lot, and they're trying to see things from a higher perspective. So I think one advice for whichever person you are is to focus on your body and how you can kind of integrate all this energy into the physical. But we are going to go ahead and look at what this person is fantasizing about now. Whether you are the Swan or the Zebra, it doesn't really matter. It kind of seems like y'all are both kind of connected anyway. So this is a new deck. It is the Gothmancy Tarot. I'm really liking it so far, so I hope you guys like it too. But we are just going to see what this person is fantasizing about, maybe what they want or what they hope for. I've got things falling left and right. And then once we're done with the tarot, I'll finish off with some guidance, and then we'll get into the 18 plus extended if you guys want to meet me over there. There definitely does feel like there does seem to be at least like a physical distance here. But I think what's interesting is that these two are definitely more connected than they realize or than they think they are. So Spirit, what is pile one's person? What are they currently fantasizing about when it comes to pile one and this connection? Okay, so we have the Magician. We have the Nine of Swords, so there's that anxiety. So maybe for some of you, you might be seeing yourself in more the Swan, and this person is the Zebra. We have the Six of Swords. I just heard moving, so I don't know if that's relevant. Okay, we have the Page of Swords. How about one more? Yeah, a lot of mental energy, the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so can you clarify the Magician for me, please? Okay. So we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We have the 9 of Swords with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Clarifying the 6 of Swords, we have the 10 of Cups. Okay, with the Page of Swords, we have the Knight of Cups. And finally, can we clarify the 8 of Pentacles, please, Spirit? Okay. We have the Knight of Swords. Okay, and on the back of the deck, we have the 6 of Wands. Okay, so this kind of makes a lot of sense, considering the energy that I've seen here. I'm actually going to grab some bloodstone because I'm like, damn, I need to be grounded right now. This person definitely does seem to be manifesting you, pile 1. So if you're manifesting them, this is kind of a confirmation that this energy is in fact mirrored. This person is not happy with where the connection is. And in fact, what's really interesting is that some of their fantasies, they kind of want to keep private, but they're really found here in this 10 of Cups. But what I'm seeing here is that this person definitely overthinks about this connection a lot. And I think that they often think about like reaching out to you. And the intention behind that is something much more romantic than they would admit. Like, I feel like the reality is they would come in and just like be like, hey, or, you know, Page of Swords energy is very like dry and to the point and very casual. So I think that for this person though, that would be like really going out on a limb for them. I feel like this person is very impatient with what's been going on in this connection. And I think that they have a lot of fears. Like, part of the problem is that when it comes to like, they don't really daydream so much as they have like anxiety about the connection. Like with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like they really worry that their effort isn't going anywhere, that maybe what they're investing in won't have any results, which I think is kind of down to this person just believing themselves more. But I almost feel like one thing that they have been doing is kind of just burying themselves in their job or in their work. I do feel like maybe they're struggling at times to be fully present, especially in the workplace. So I don't know if maybe you guys used to work together. Oh my gosh, really, Spirit? They're showing me like a whole ass Jim and Pam situation, like, or maybe if you want to go with it, like a Holly and Michael type thing. I'm not trying to like compare the connection to this, but it does just kind of seem like this person is only half there, because, and it's like they don't even have the freedom or the room to like fantasize about things very directly, because they are worried about moving forward. And part of their fears are that maybe they've lost this connection for good. They're definitely like with this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, like I said, they're not happy with where things are at. They may not be in a good place in their life in general. But I do think that this person, even if they're not spiritual, they are probably learning about like the law of attraction or like manifestation or something like that. But definitely the one thing that holds them back is their anxiety, their fears. They don't have to have like full on like generalized anxiety, but they definitely do worry about this connection. And I feel like that's the one thing that really holds them back, because I don't think that they believe in themselves very much. This person does, like, ultimately they fantasize about moving forward from whatever this gap between you two it is, whether it's just a physical gap or it's something more. Maybe some of you are worried about like what family might think, or maybe there's something like, I don't want to say taboo, but like less acceptable in the society or culture that one or both of you live in. Because I do think that their fantasies are in this 10 of Cups energy. And what's interesting is that it does seem like this person tries to be very practical about things, but I think that their fantasies about you and about this connection are not very practical. Something I do just like want to say is that one thing that I think this person does is that they definitely, I feel some like Piscean energy here, where this person might look at this connection as a end all be all, like not in like a, well, in a way of like a happily ever after, but I do feel like this person might be neglecting the things that they could do to improve their life as it is, and instead projecting this happiness into the future onto this connection. So that honestly might be part of the reason why this connection is being held back. Maybe that's something that you're finding on your end too. So if you're wondering maybe why this manifestation isn't coming in, I would definitely say look at what you can do and in your physical world to improve your life and find, if not happiness, at the very least contentment in the moment. But I do think they think about reaching out to you all the time, and it's always like a should I, shouldn't I? But I think that, you know, if they have to cross an ocean, I'm hearing that song like, I would walk 500 miles and I would something 500 more just to be the man standing at your door. I'm not going to try to do an Irish accent, but overall they fantasize about having victory in this connection. Yeah, with this King of Wands, which is interesting because if they are the zebra person, they could definitely have a lot of fire in their chart. But it does kind of seem like this person fantasizes about like taking charge and coming in victorious and like winning this situation. But the one thing I do want to say, because I don't want to discourage you guys, even though this person does have fears and does have worries, it does kind of seem like the more you believe in yourself, the more it helps this person as well, because you guys are so connected. I do feel like you almost like telepathically communicate, or you just like communicate a lot like online, is kind of what I'm hearing. Or maybe you guys like stalk each other's like social medias or something like that. I feel like this person is constantly like wondering what you're up to. And I feel like for a lot of you, if this is like a long distance thing or this connection faces challenges, this person wants to overcome them. They fantasize about overcoming them and like coming for you and having this 10 of Cups with you, because I think at the end of the day, they just want to move on from whatever has burdened this connection in the past, whatever has plagued this connection in the past, and they want to move forward. It's honestly pretty straightforward here. I think the biggest thing to note here is that this 9 of Swords energy, this anxious energy here, really does hold them back. And I do just want to say, you know, if you're ever like doubting the messages that you're getting or what might be going on between you two, just remember that actions lie and words lie, but energy doesn't lie. So if you can trust your energy, you can trust what's going on. I feel like sometimes people place too many expectations on like readings. Like, I'm not trying to like Gabby Hanna manage your expectations type thing. I'm just saying like when it comes to these readings, I'm reading energy. And people can have a certain energy but not act on it. So if you're wondering, okay, well, why haven't they reached out, or why hasn't this or that happened? You have to remember that just because somebody's energy wants that doesn't mean they'll actually act on it. And clearly, I definitely think one of this person's biggest problems is that they do have a lot of fears and a lot of worries when it comes to this connection, and that does hold them back. Their fear is the biggest thing blocking their manifestations, and I would say your fear is the biggest thing blocking your manifestations. And if you're like the swan raccoon person, this is kind of a side note, but Spirit is really saying to stop being afraid to share what you're creating with others. They wouldn't give you this type of inspiration and give you this ability if they didn't want you to share it with the world. So yeah, overall, this person, they fantasize about success, but it really is a battle between their brain and their heart. And I feel like this person maybe isn't super in touch with their heart. I feel like their heart is more kind of tied in with their, like, I don't want to say lust, but just like their passion. They have a lot of passion, and I think that they process things through passion. they might have foot and mouth syndrome a little bit as well. So maybe they're waiting to figure out exactly what they want to say. It's almost like they want to have, I don't know if the movie The Goonies is significant to any of you, but I was kind of thinking like this family was kind of just reminding me of like the Goonies and like this little band of misfits. So like maybe this person, you know, kind of sees you and them as misfits, and they kind of want to just like create a family of misfits, I guess. But we're going to go ahead and get you some advice, things that Spirit want you to know when it comes to this connection, and things that you can do. I just got this new oracle deck, and I'm really excited about it because it's so pretty. So, Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 1 when it comes to this connection? What do you want pile 1 to know? What do you want pile 1 to know? What is your advice? Okay, so we have freedom, spread your wings. What else do you want pile 1 to know? Okay. We have set intentions, plant the seeds, and watch them grow. And finally, we have action, awaken the warrior woman within. And on the back of the deck, we have inhale, exhale, create space within, breathe. So the advice here is very, very straightforward. And what I think they want you to understand is that if you are very like back and forth with this connection, so for example, like if you're manifesting this person and then you don't see progress, and then you're like, ah, screw it, like I didn't want this anyway, or man, this is bullshit, or like I'm wasting my time. It's kind of like you need to watch your words and watch your actions, because if you really want this, but then you're counting yourself out because you don't want to be disappointed or you don't want to lose hope, it's completely understandable. But what Spirit is saying is that you have a lot of power to manifest what you want. And so when you kind of flip-flop, the universe doesn't really know what to give you. And I feel like this person is maybe in this energy as well. And so I think Spirit is giving you a very specific recommendation to set intentions for what you actually want to manifest, and then let go of them. I also think this action card, if you've been wanting to take action towards this connection, obviously follow your intuition first, but listen to what that action might be. But I also look at this action in a more broad perspective. Like, for example, if you've been having trouble going after what you want to create, or you've been having trouble having the confidence to share what you've been creating, it's almost like Spirit's really asking you to go after the things in your personal life that you've been wanting to achieve, because not only will it help keep your mind off of what's going on here, but it will also help you move your manifestations forward. And I think that's one thing that Spirit wants you to understand, is that co-creating with the universe is a process. Like, the universe can only do so much as you'll allow it to, because if you don't take action in the 3D, obviously Spirit can't help you. So like an example of that is like, let's just say you wanted to become a famous Formula 1 race car driver, but you don't have your license. Like, nobody's gonna knock on your door and be like, hey, pile 1, like, congrats, you're the best Formula 1 driver in the world, like, when you don't have a license. So like, I think Spirit is saying to start taking the steps that you want towards the life you see yourself living, and have realistic expectations of what that actually looks like, you know? Don't be afraid to build slowly. But I think what Spirit is saying is that you're not confined to anything. And in fact, the more you hone in on what you actually want to manifest, what you actually want to achieve, this connection aside, the universe will want to bring that to you. And they're kind of saying that this connection is optional. Obviously, if you're with this person, then it's likely that this is something that you want to be in. But like, for example, if you're in separation with this person or something like that, Spirit is saying like, you don't have to wait around for this person. You don't have to wait for something to change here. You have the freedom to do whatever you want, but be aware of that, because if you go after something and you realize it's not what you truly wanted, or you're kind of flip-flopping, that will slow your manifestations down. But the fact that on the back of the deck, I guess we're focusing on healing as well. you know, with this breathe card, inhale, exhale, create space within, I do think that there's just a lot of things that you need to release that you've kind of had like pent up in your body, either feelings about this connection, feelings about what else would this be? Feelings like about difficult things in your life. I feel like overall Spirit's just trying really hard to get you like moving again and get you like to find your flow, because when you're in a flow state, that is like when you're in optimum like manifestation energy, and that's when you're in a path of least resistance and the universe can really work its magic. But I think that Spirit wants you to actually claim the things that you want to go after, and don't be afraid to admit them, because at the end of the day, you can't mess up something that's meant for you. But Spirit wants you to understand that you do have the freedom to walk away from this at any point. You do have the freedom to change your course. There are things that can be destined for us, but we always have free will. So just because something is lined up to be in our destiny, you know, we can always change course. But that doesn't mean we can't change course again. So I guess what Spirit is wanting you to understand is kind of release all the stress that you have about the outcome here and just focus on what you can control. Because the more you focus on your own free will and on your own feelings and on your own healing, the easier it will be for you to kind of just surrender what's going on here and trust that the universe has your back, and the thing meant for both of you is what will happen. So pile 1, I'm going to leave this reading here. If you want to join me in the extended, we are going to look at this person's 18 plus daydream / fantasies about you. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that link down below. Uncensored ASO is really fun. Other than that, thank you so much to everybody who watches my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who does that. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like. If it resonated, definitely comment down below and let me know how. I would love it as well if you subscribed and click that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. If you want, go ahead and follow my new Instagram. That is linked down below, and check out my merch if you want to. But I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you guys chose the aura coded clear quartz heart and the Superlunaris Tarot, this is going to be your reading. But because daydreams and fantasies can be very fluid and everybody's got them, we are going to check and make sure this is your connection. So you should be able to at the very least find yourself in here. If you don't recognize the other person, it could be somebody that Spirit is coming through instead of the person that you're thinking of. Hopefully it's the person that you're thinking of, but if you find that it's somebody that you know but not the person you're thinking of, I would trust that maybe Spirit is trying to give you a message about them, or maybe you just need to hear the tea, see what they've been fantasizing about. But if you can't find your energy in here, then this is likely not your pile. I would recommend trying one of the other piles and seeing if you can find your energy there. But if you can't, I would say then maybe there might not be a reading in this video for you. So what we're going to do first is look at the overall energies of the connection. So to start with you and this person, we have higher perspective. Y'all got 2 circle cards. You're the only group that got 2 circle cards, so you're a little special. So for y'all, we also have the crone and agape. I don't think it's agape. I think it's agape, but you know, a grape. I'm like drinking grape sparkling water right now, so if I burp, it's the carbonation, but also just made me think of that, like, a grape. Anyway, we're gonna look at the first person in this connection, and what I did, I really like what I did with this. So these 2 animal cards, this first one is the starfish, and this represents the first person's higher self, and then the deer represents the first person's 3D self. So this is kind of going to represent so you should be able to at the very least recognize your like grounded energy. Maybe this will also help you kind of see where your higher self is at and what you're thinking about. But the first person's energy towards the connection is hostilities and earth magic, and guilt. And then, oh no, they got messed up. Okay, and then the second person, their higher self is being represented by the turtle. And their 3D self is being represented by the snake. I'll, like, fix these. And their energy towards the connection is represented by yin, ears wide open, and despondence. So I'm going to use the starfish and the turtle as my like identifiers here, but what's interesting is that you both are mirroring in the sense that your higher selves are in more emotional energy and your 3D selves are in more ground energy. I was like, huh, it's like very literal. But in terms of signs, we definitely have the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But let's talk about the energy of the connection first. This higher perspective card really goes to show that both people within this connection are having a lot more spiritual understanding. So both of these people could be in a spiritual high right now. They could just be exploring their spirituality, or they could just be looking at this connection itself from a more spiritual perspective. But the vibe between these two is very, very interesting. Once again, this is a connection where there could be a variety of different situations. For some of you, I get the vibe like you and this person are on and off, like this could be a separation type thing. But for others, I could definitely see where maybe this is like a connection with somebody that you're in, but maybe it is in like a lull, or you're separated by a physical distance. For others, maybe like nothing bad is really happening between the two of you, but for whatever reason, you're just not in each other's lives right now, maybe because of distance, or because of outside circumstances. But I would say overall, the way to know who this is somebody that you've either been with for a long time, or been on and off with for a long time, or known, or like your connection with them has evolved, maybe like from friends to more to nothing to back to friends kind of thing. Or it could be like maybe you've only known this person for like a couple months to a year or something like that, but it's so much has happened in that span of time. It feels like you've aged incredibly. But I would say the most likely situation is that you've either known this person for a long time, or you've been through a lot of phases within this connection with this person. This kind of has like ride or die energy for some of you. And so I could definitely see like how for some of you this could very well be someone you're currently with. And there's just kind of, you might be struggling, you know, because obviously long-term relationships have their lulls. But the beautiful thing here is that with that, so that's kind of representing the crone energy, because it's like you both have kind of seen it all when it comes to this connection. You've experienced a lot, and I feel like when it comes to this connection, it at the very least feels like nothing else can surprise you. And I think because a certain amount of time has passed between you and this person, no matter what your relationship status is with them, or contact status is with them, you have a much deeper understanding and a much more evolved awareness than you once did about this person or about this connection. And what I find really interesting is that it kind of seems like, you know, maybe this does feel like kind of an energy of surrender in a lot of ways, but I'll get more into that, because this agape card is really beautiful because it's all about devotion and unconditional love. So if you're with this person, just know that even if you guys are going through some types of troubles, like this person loves you unconditionally. But even if you're not with this person, there is unconditional love here. But I think what's interesting is that this unconditional love, I think for some of you, is you're learning how to channel unconditional love for yourselves, respectively. But I think that there is an intuitive understanding that there's unconditional love for one another. But I think the difference between like the unconditional love for self for each of these people and the unconditional love for one another is that the unconditional love for one another waxes and wanes. So sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. And it's almost like this crone card kind of emulates how through the highs and lows of this connection, these two people are learning how to unconditionally love one another, how to unconditionally love themselves. And they're kind of learning that even through these tumultuous times or these difficult experiences, when they come out of it, they're learning how to see things from a higher perspective, to take things less personally, and to understand things from one another's side. So I'll kind of sprinkle in more information about the connection as a whole, but we're going to go ahead and start with the first person here. So their higher self is being represented by the starfish. And with this starfish card being here, it's kind of interesting because this person, this starfish deer person, is definitely in the process of healing codependency, and also healing in general, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that. But this is somebody incredibly nurturing, incredibly selfless with this deer card here. If you're this person or they're this person, they could have children. Maybe for some of you, you've recently had a child. For others, this could be a fur baby, a plant. For others, maybe this is taking care of like parents or family members. But even if like this is the mom friend of the group or the dad friend of the group, you know what I mean? This is definitely somebody who is spooked a bit easily. But it kind of seems like whatever has happened with this person over here, this deer person has recently come to the realization that if they don't look out for themselves, nobody is going to. They're always the one cleaning up other people's messes. They're always the one taking care of others. And in fact, I think this deer person is realizing how maybe their kindness has been taken advantage of, especially if it's not even family that they've been taking care of. If it's like friends or people that might be just taking and not really reciprocating. I feel like this person is starting to open up to what their higher self wants, or being open to their dreams again. I feel like for a long time, maybe this person believed that they couldn't have dreams or that they couldn't have hopes for things because they were so focused on helping others. But I feel like this person, especially if this is you, I'm sure you'll be able to confirm, it kind of seems like you've been screwed over time and time again by people. And you've probably wondered, why is this happening? Like, I'm good to people, or if this is your person, they're thinking, I'm good to people, I'm honest, why do I keep getting screwed over? And this person is starting to realize that it's because they don't prioritize themselves. And while these are tough lessons, Spirit doesn't really, sometimes guidance can come in warm, fuzzy ways, but sometimes we just have to learn lessons naturally, and unfortunately, those aren't always easy. But I feel like this dear person is so used to doing things to appease others and to make others happy that this dear person almost doesn't know what they want. And I don't think that's in relation to this connection. It might be. For some of you, maybe they're reconsidering if this is the type of connection that they want right now, or they're feeling like maybe they deserve more. I don't want to stress anyone out. Like, if you're with this person, like if you and this person are together, I don't want to say that like either of you are thinking about like breaking up or anything like that. I don't see that, because there is this unconditional love here. But I do feel like this dear person has maybe been in this energy of hoping that this like turtle snake person might be coming forward, or they haven't been taking any action, and this dear person is kind of wondering what they should be doing for themselves. I could also see that maybe this dear person has pulled back their energy from this connection because they are starting to focus on what they want. They're realizing that they need to focus on their own happiness, and because if they don't, nobody will. What's interesting here with this guilt card is that I think the biggest thing that this deer/starfish person is learning how to heal is being guilty for choosing themselves. And so it almost makes a lot of sense that this starfish energy would come up, because I think for a long time, in fact, they might have been raised in a family where their parents were really overbearing, or like the expectations on their family were really overbearing. And so they were always very focused on pleasing the people around them, and that transitioned into their adulthood, if they are adults. Hopefully they are. But with this starfish card, it's almost like they're starting to explore their hopes, their dreams, what they actually want out of life. And I feel like they're battling this guilt and this fear of like, is it okay for me to go after this? Is it selfish? Is it shallow for me to want to go after these things? And I do think for some of you out there, if you are the deer / starfish person, or it's your person, doesn't really matter. I feel like I've been using third person just because it makes more sense with both of them. But they, as in this deer person, might be thinking about doing some type of like physical transformation, like either in their home, like renovating their home, like redecorating their home, or their body. So like changing their hairstyle, or going on a shopping spree, or like focusing on their physical appearance, maybe for the first time in a while, maybe because they've been too busy taking care of others, or they didn't really feel like they were worthy of those things. And I think this person is realizing that they deserve to, you know, dress their body, adorn their body, in ways that make them feel beautiful. I feel like this person is kind of focused on figuring out how to feel more confident in their body and not be so afraid to, one, say no to things, to choose themselves, and to take care of themselves. So the fact that we have this Earth Magic card here, it kind of seems like this deer person is really pulling back their energy in the sense that they're not so focused on what this other person is doing anymore. Even if this is like a connection that you are presently like with this person, it's almost like instead of constantly focusing on their needs first, the deer person is now learning how to check in with themselves, to ask their body what they need. And this guilt card talks about having a deep care for others, but learning how to protect themselves emotionally so that they don't get themselves hurt in the process. So I do feel like if this is a connection, no matter what type of connection this is, truthfully, this deer person is kind of, they might have a little bit of a boundary up with the turtle person, or they might be very hesitant to open up to the turtle person. But I think that they are just, I don't think that this hostilities is with just with this person. I think it's kind of with everyone, because this deer person is kind of relearning how to know what is good attention and what is bad attention, and what people do have good intentions and what people don't. I see a really beautiful bluebird outside. So I don't know if bluebirds are significant, but actually a lot of birds. But there's one like perched, and yeah, he or she is really cute. I also think that this person is learning that they cannot set themselves on fire to keep other people warm. So they're kind of in this process. Their higher self is teaching them how to get in tune with their emotions again. I don't think that they've dug deep and looked into their emotions in a very long time, because they just haven't had the capacity to, or they haven't even had the freedom to do that, because they might be for the first time learning what that's like. So with this Earth Magic card, it's kind of like now this deer person is putting into place the things that they want to achieve in their life, and they are planting the seeds for what they want to grow, and they are learning that they need to protect themselves, and they are learning how to protect themselves the way they would love others, and to show themselves the love that they would typically give to others. And I think that there is a lot of, especially if this is like a separation type situation, or the deer and the snake are not together, I feel like this person is learning that they need to give them space, and it's not their problem. It's not their job to fix them. It's not their job to heal them. It's their job to focus on themselves and do what's best for them. This is a really beautiful energy for the deer to be in. So let's go ahead and move over to the turtle. But actually, I do want to say before that, so this deer's higher perspective is learning that they can be the most amazing person in the world, and they could do everything for others, but at the end of the day, true satisfaction lies in being happy with themselves, and they've realized that they don't want their life to just be taking care of others, and even if it is, they're learning that they need to find a balance so that they can do things that they genuinely enjoy as well. So moving over to this turtle person. This turtle person, they might actually be awakening to spirituality for the first time. I do feel like this turtle person is kind of interesting because like the person A over here, they seem to have very light energy, and even like the deer is surrounded by green, which is, you know, green is very loving energy, whereas this turtle snake person over here, a snurtle, a snurtle or a take, I guess. I like snurtle, but this person kind of seems to have more of an avoidant energy. It definitely kind of seems like there have been traumatic things that happened in this snurtle's life, and they, I think for the first time, are learning that they can acknowledge their emotions and their safety in that. This definitely feels like this is somebody with an old soul, but for some, this person could be going sober or learning that they need to find more balance in their maladaptive coping mechanisms. I just kind of see like addictions highlighted here for whatever reason, but I think that this person is waking up in the sense that they're learning that everything doesn't have to be hopeless and helpless. And I think that one of the biggest like issues with this dynamic over time is that I think both of these people were looking to one another to fulfill each other's needs, and both people are starting to learn that that can't happen. I also think that because of how strong this connection is, it's easy for one another to get like triggered or take things really personally by the other. And so maybe for some of you, these two are like, you and this person really are taking some time apart. I feel like this turtle person, I'm not like diagnosing or anything, but this turtle person might have a very pessimistic view on life. This despondence card can talk about like depression. So this person could be dealing with those sorts of issues. They don't have to be, but I do feel like this person is in a state of non-action. But this is actually really important for them because this person, even though they're the turtle, they have been running. And I kind of think it's interesting with the fox here is like, maybe it's almost like their true self has always been in hiding. And it's like for a long time, they've just been trying to survive is like the vibe that I'm getting. And I think that this person is finally learning how to get out of their ego and start balancing their feminine and masculine energy. And this is actually really important because this person is learning how to take care of themselves, which is very much needed if these two are going to be together, or if they are together and want to have a harmonious connection, because this dear person cannot be responsible for always taking care of them. So this turtle energy is this person's higher self. And so this person is starting to learn that they can trust themselves to protect their own emotions. They can trust themselves to be grounded, and they are learning how to open up to this profound wisdom within them. In fact, I think that one of the reasons why this person has struggled so much is because they could be like highly sensitive to like energy, or to look up HSP, especially if this is you. I would look up just highly sensitive person. Could be an empath, but do be aware that like not all highly sensitive people are empaths, and that's kind of a mistake that happens. But if you are an empath, you're most likely highly sensitive. But I feel like this person has just been told that they're wrong for most of their life. I think that they were probably, like, I am picking up for some, this person probably had really, really traumatic childhood experiences, maybe for both, but I almost feel like it's in different ways. Like this person might have had really overbearing parents, while this person might have had really like neglectful parents. And I did also want to say too, like if you see yourself in both, it's because the energy can be mirrored. But if things are switched, feel free to switch them in a way that makes sense. This is a general reading, so take what resonates, obviously. But what's really positive about this snake person is that they are starting to learn how much untapped potential truly lies within them. And I think one thing Spirit wants this dear person to know, especially if it's you, they want you to understand that you couldn't have shown this person these things. Like, they needed to see it for themselves. And they're starting to. Slowly but surely, it's almost like they are shedding their skin. And they have a lot of skin to shed. Like, Spirit is showing me, I don't know, if you guys have seen or read The Chamber of Secrets, like, I'm seeing, like, just the giant, like, basilisk shedded skin. It's like what Spirit's showing me. But it's almost like, you know, obviously, hopefully they're not, like, you know, evil or anything like that. But I don't think they are. I just think that, like, this person could not see the truth of themselves or the truth of their life for such a long time, because I think that their ego was really invested in their world being that way. Because if they zoomed out and realized that they were their biggest enemy, or that you were your biggest enemy if this is you, it's kind of humbling, and it's kind of difficult to face that. But the beautiful thing that this person is doing is, instead of being on the attack or being on offense all the time and being ready, or defensive offense, where they're ready to flee first, to get the last word in, like, this person does have a very defensive energy that they're learning to let go of. And what's really beautiful is that we have 22 and 33 here. So their energy is becoming very, very balanced. But from what I can see here is that this person is not really taking action towards this connection. And I think that for this deer/starfish person, they are learning how to focus on themselves first and not take that personally. And this turtle person might be feeling kind of crappy for not taking action, but they're kind of in this energy of figuring out what action to take. They may not know yet, but they are in this healing process first. They're kind of, as you can see, they're still in the dark. They're not fully ready to embody the light yet. And although they're seeing this connection from a higher perspective, both of these people are still learning how to love themselves. And so there definitely will be misunderstandings between these two. The universe might intervene and separate these two for a while. Maybe that's what some of you are going through right now. If you're currently with this person, there might be a lack of understanding between you two, or just a lack of constructive communication between the two of you. You might just be going through the motions in your routines. But this person is learning how to listen. They are learning how to be open to Spirit's guidance, and that's actually something really positive, because no matter what the connection is with the deer, they are going to be more open to listening to the deer's side. But first, they have to be open to receiving. They have to understand this feminine energy. They have to be in their feminine energy, no matter what their gender is, because they need to understand that they are worthy of receiving things too. Now, it's not like they haven't received things in the past, but the thing that Spirit is trying to hammer home is that they weren't really in a space to appreciate it, and there's probably a lot of guilt on their end because they believe that they didn't deserve it, and it probably just weighed heavy on them than they did like actually appreciate it. So now they're starting to be more open, and they're having less of a one-track mind. I'm hearing the song Let It Be for this person, so I don't know if the Beatles is significant to this person, but for the Snurtle, they are slowly but surely getting to a place where they are having a much deeper spiritual understanding of who they are and what they want. They are learning that they are so much more than they believe themselves to be, and they are actively unlearning the patterns and habits that held them back and maybe made them destructive to begin with. Now, I want to be clear, both of these people, I'm not doing this to like drag either of you. Like, we all have qualities like this that we have to heal. It's like both of these people were kind of escaping themselves, either by running from themselves or by taking care of other people so that they didn't have to focus on themselves. And so I could definitely see how this connection for both of you is very important, because you are essentially learning through this connection, or just the experiences you've had through it, what is working and what isn't, and what you both need to heal, because both of these people have things that they are healing, and they're doing an amazing job. This is confirmation, you know, for if you're watching this, if you're not in contact with your person, like, they are healing too, but they definitely, whichever person they are, you know, need their space. And I think that this is a really beautiful energy to be in, because this person, this is the third eye chakra. So they're opening, their psychic abilities are reopening. I don't even want to say opening. I think they're reopening. Like I said, I think this person has always had this within them, but I think that they didn't trust it or tuned out of it because of either traumatic experiences or just feeling like they couldn't trust what was going on. Whereas this person, I think they don't really need to be, they could be naturally very spiritual, but they don't really kind of need that right now. They actually need to be more focused on how they can physically take care of themselves and be more grounded in their care, which is why they are represented by this earth magic. So this is a really, overall, like this is definitely, you will know if this is like something that you're in, because it's pretty hard to miss at this point. But we're gonna go ahead and see what this person is daydreaming about you. So whether they are the snurtle or the deerfish, doesn't really matter, but we are just going to see. So this is the Superlunaris Tarot. It's another new deck that I got off of Etsy. All of the decks today are indie decks, so I'm pretty hype about that. Yeah, this deck is really beautiful. I love the like rose gold foil around it. Also very good representation in this deck, which is always appreciated, especially in these general readings, because it's always nice when you can find yourself. Also, look at how badass this Emperor card is. I think this is probably my favorite card in the deck. Very iconic imagery. Okay, so let's go ahead and see, Spirit, what is pile 2's person currently daydreaming about when it comes to pile 2? Okay, we have the 8 of Cups. We have the 5 of Pentacles. We have the Chariot. We have the Moon. One more, please, Spirit. We have the 10 of Wands. Okay, so what I am going to say right away is that very clearly there's messages aside of that coming through. Your pile is very different from the first pile in the sense that, like, I spent a long time on the connection. That's likely because there are just messages that you needed to hear. If you and your person watch this, that both of you needed to hear. But I definitely think that it's a much needed reading for you guys. So Spirit, can we clarify all of these? Let's start with the 8 of Cups. Okay, so the 6 of Cups is clarified by the 8 of Cups. How about the 5 of Pentacles? Spirit. Okay, we have the Fool. We have the Lovers. Wow, okay, we have a lot of major arcanas here. How about the Moon? Spirit, give me the Moon. Okay, we have the 7 of Wands. And finally, how about the 10 of Wands? We have the Knight of Wands. Okay, and on the back of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. Wow. Okay, so this truthfully feels less like fantasies. I mean, I guess it is like daydreams and fantasies, but I would say, okay, especially if your person is the snurtle, the turtle snake person, they have a very clear message of what they want to do. Now, if they act on this, I think that will be different for everybody, but no matter who you are, this person definitely wants to move past. This is less about daydreams and like, it's kind of like pile 2, you came to this reading today because you just needed like a vibe check and to know what's going on here. Because I feel like you've already been involved in this connection for quite a long time. So you kind of, it's easy to recognize their energy. But what I'm kind of seeing here is that this person really wants to move away from their past. And I think that this is also the difficult past between you two. I feel like if you are in separation with this person, they miss you a lot. And so a lot of their fantasies have to do with starting fresh with you with this Fool card here. And almost as well, like the Dove is in 2 different cards. And so there's this huge desire for peace here. It's almost like this person or neither of you can be at peace until you are at peace, until both of you have had like either like a heart-to-heart or like had the ability to make peace with one another, whatever that looks like. With the 6 of Cups here, I feel like this person sees you as a soulmate. This is a soulmate card. Maybe you've known this person for a really long time, since like childhood or something like that. It doesn't have to be for all of you. But I think at their core, even though there's been a lot of trials and tribulations here, there's been a lot of difficult things, I feel like this person feels like they can be their truest self with you, which is their childhood self. And I think that for this person, for a really long time, it was really traumatic to be in their like childhood energy, or they forgot what being in their childlike energy, what that actually felt like, because they were so detached from it. And this person fantasizes about coming forward. With this Chariot clarified by the Lovers, they fantasize about like choosing you. So if you've ever seen The Simpsons, it just made me think, there's this Valentine, I don't know if Ralph gets it or he gives it, but it's just this like train, and it says, I choose you. And so if you're with this person, they definitely like either fantasize or want you to know that like they want to move forward with you, like you're their person. Even if you're not with them, I just feel like maybe because of like the difficulties or whatever has been going on between you, they might not feel ready to voice that yet, or they might just be figuring things out. But if this is like a separation type thing, or you're not with them, I do feel like they are very protective of their feelings towards you and this connection. Like this Chariot is Cancerian energy. We actually have a ton of signs here because we have Fire, Aries, Leo, Sag, with the Knight of Wands. We have Pisces with the Moon, Cancer with the Chariot, Gemini with the Lovers, and I always see Aries with the Fool because like I'm biased, and the Fool is the very first card in the tarot, and Aries is the very first card, or the very first sign in the zodiac. But it's almost like this person is coming out of a dark night of the soul, whichever person they are. And I feel like they are learning that they don't have to be defined by their past mistakes. And so I think that maybe they, like one of their fantasies that I'm picking up on is that they do want to go on, like, for some of you, I heard like they actually want to go on a honeymoon, like maybe you and this person didn't take one, or for others, they want to either like, they want to go on some type of vacation with you. They're really working on releasing themselves from all these burdens, because it's like they want to come forward. They want to come forward. But with this Moon here, clarified by the 7 of Wands, they really are in this process of fighting their subconscious. You know, the Moon is all about the things we can't see. And so this person is in this process of fighting their demons, fighting their own battles. And like kind of one thing that I'm hearing is that like you don't deserve to be, like, this is a fight that they have to do themselves, and like it's not your job to fight them for them. But what I find here even is that we have another snake here, and I do feel like, I don't know, for some of you, you might want to look into like Kundalini, I think it's called, yoga. I don't know much about it, truthfully, or like Kundalini healing, Kundalini. Overall, this person fantasizes and wants a new emotional start with you, whatever that may look like for you and them. But they are currently battling their subconscious. They are battling their fears. They are battling their own illusions. And I think a lot of these illusions don't even have to do with this connection. I think this person really knows how you feel about them. And I think that you know how they feel about you. It's like there's just an acknowledgement that there are just issues on both sides that need to be healed and dealt with in order for you two to be in alignment or to have this fresh start. And I feel like here, you know, with this Lovers card, this person is acknowledging that love isn't just a feeling, it's also a choice. And the Lovers often indicates a choice. And so I feel like this person is saying when they are balanced, they want to come forward and choose you. For a lot of you, I'm getting the vibe like your person is the snurtle because they are coming through really strongly here. But if you are the snurtle and your person is the deer, I feel like they might be talking about like the fact that they had to distance themselves because of all the pain that they're feeling in this connection, but they want this fresh start just as much as you do. There's a lot of passion here, and I feel like you both want to take action, but this deer person is also working on battling their own demons, battling their own subconscious, because there's deeply ingrained patterns in both of these people that are needing to be unlearned. And actually, I think a lot of this is being healed through inner child healing. So if you haven't done any of that, I would really look into inner child healing. That can be different for everybody, but it's learning how to play, learning how to take care of your inner child. Like, our inner child never really leaves us. And actually, just a little side anecdote, even though this reading is already super long, for me, what I've noticed is that I'm not even really actively healing my inner child very much, but the more I just like heal myself in general, I get these like really insane, intense flashbacks to like times when I was a child, like a very, very young child, like this young child. Also, that's my mommy, isn't she so pretty? But yeah, that was me as a kid, just like fully done with life in my pigtails. I'm like, what the fuck, why am I here? And like my earliest memories are a lot of me. Actually, my first memory is 9/11, so that's kind of screwed up. But I have these like really intense, vivid flashbacks to when I was a child, and I've kind of had this realization. So hopefully this will help you guys, that like my truest self is the self that I knew before I was conditioned by society and before I was like a person. Like, for example, one thing that I've been doing to kind of heal my inner child is that I've gone vegetarian, not because of like a moral standing or anything like that. Obviously there are eco-friendly benefits to it, but like when I was really young, I just thought it was really fucked up to eat animals, and I was just like, I don't want to eat animals. Eating animals seems wrong. And you know, because I was conditioned to eat them, I learned how to get over it. But I've actually found that my anxiety is not as bad as it was when I ate animals, and it has been healing for me in the sense that I'm able to give my inner child the control over what I eat that I didn't have when I was younger. And that's not like the fault on my parents. Like, it's not like they were abusing me. Like, they're just, you know, wanting me to eat and get my nutrients in, you know. But like for me, it was a very difficult, painful thing as a child because I didn't have any control over that, you know. I have so many vivid memories. You can't leave the table until you eat XYZ, and that's like a picky eater's hell, which was my hell. But so now that I have the freedom to eat what I want, it's like appeasing what my childhood self would want is really helpful, and it's really healing. So that's kind of an example of inner child healing. It doesn't have to be so deliberate, but it's almost like empowering the self that you had at the earliest parts of your life, which that can be harder to get to for some than others, but there's an example. I thought it might help. Anyway, back to the reading. You know, both of you have burdens that you're carrying right now, and you're in the process of learning how to charge through them and how to take action away from them. But what I love here is that Spirit's really confirming that through your growing spirituality, or you're just growing trust in yourself, doesn't even have to be spirituality, you're learning how to fight your subconscious temptations that you've always had. You're learning to fight your natural instincts. And what I love here is that we have, once again, like in two different cards. Well, in this one we have two dogs, a white dog and a black dog, and in this one we have a white wolf and a black wolf. And so I feel like the both of you are really learning how to balance your light and dark sides, and also learning how to balance the wild parts of yourselves and the domesticated parts of yourselves, if that makes sense. But this person fantasizes about coming forward. They fantasize about having a life with you, having a fresh start. Maybe for some of you having children, or having a family, for some integrating your families or something like that. But the fact that we have two doves here, I feel like doves and dogs are really symbolic for this connection. Same with a white horse. I'm hearing the song White Horse by Taylor Swift. But Yeah, I think that this person fantasizes about having peace here, about having a fresh start. And I think that they are actually, this is kind of a good thing. They're not in their fantasies very much because they're trying to actually take accountability and make their life what they dream about. I think if there's any fantasies, I think they have fantasies about traveling with you. I think they have fantasies about going on vacation with you. I think they just have fantasies about moving forward and feeling free and not being burdened, you or them being burdened by the things that held you back before, the things that brought you both down before. So this is honestly really beautiful energy, and this is clearly a very significant connection to have all of these major cards here. So let's go ahead and get some guidance because this reading has already been long enough. So this is the Guidance Oracle. Who is it by? This is the Cosmic Guidance Oracle. This is also on Etsy. I really love this deck. It's so beautiful. But Spirit, what advice would you give to pile one when it comes to this connection? What do you need pile one to know at this time? So we have listen, silence your mind, and pay attention. So yeah, I think when you find yourself overthinking about this connection, Spirit wants you to be really open to what your mind is telling you, your third eye. There's even a little crescent moon here. And I think there's this need to focus on what will make you happy and learn how to quiet the mind. I'm also hearing the phrase, God gave you 2 years and not 2 years. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth so you can listen twice as much as you speak. I can't always embody that. I'm a chatty Cathy, fully admit it. But I'm trying to get better about that. And I think maybe Spirit just wants you to be, instead of like searching for signs, just be open to them. And I think that this is also about listening to yourself, listening to your needs, listening to what your body needs, and listening to what your soul needs. And instead of judging what comes through, accepting it with love and loving yourself unconditionally. Obviously, that's what you've been learning. Once again, we have that dove, peace, harmony, and contentment. Yeah, so Spirit is really saying to focus on finding this inner peace for yourself, as it will either help this connection become more peaceful, or at the very least, you won't be stressed about outcomes or stressed about how this situation will be fixed. By finding your own inner peace, you will continue to see things from a higher perspective. So yeah, doves are definitely significant here. And change, new season of life. So yeah, I think that this is also about, not being afraid to make the changes that you want to see in your life. The phrase be the change you want to see in the world, I think is very accurate. It's very true. You can gripe about how horrible the world is all you want, but at the very least, if you're making the change you want to see, at least that's one person doing it, And it's almost like you want to be you need to start being the person you fantasize yourself being, and to be your best self, and almost see how you can be the person that maybe your inner child wanted you to be. But with this change, I think Spirit is assuring you that change is coming. I feel the need to tell you to release your expectations of how this change will happen. I think it's more so focusing on what you can control, changing the aspects of what you can control to make them happier for you, more harmonious for you. And it's almost like, this is pile 2.0. Like, this is your time to really find your own peace and create the life you want to live. And on the back of the deck, we have set intentions, plant the seeds and watch them grow. So yeah, there's definitely this energy of that's the same with this Earth Magic. Where's that Earth Magic card? This Earth Magic card literally talks about planting seeds. Yeah, look, these are seeds, and this is the very first card in the deck, and it's all about planting seeds. So I do feel like for a lot of you, you are the deer person. Of course, it doesn't have to be everyone, but that's just the dominant energy here. If you're the turtle person, and you feel like you didn't get much from the deer person, I would say that's probably because you need to be focused on yourself right now and focused on these things. This probably, though, confirms a lot of what you've been feeling and what you've been hoping for. But with this Earth Magic here, Spirit is really saying you don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. And and start planting the seeds for what you want. I would really recommend maybe going out in nature. For some of you, like starting a garden, or for others, maybe going to like a conservatory where there are a lot of plants, or one of those places where there's like butterflies flying around everywhere. I feel like that could be really inspiring. But Spirit is really saying to set your intentions for what you want and trust that you're deserving of getting them. Your desires are not selfish. Your dreams are not selfish. You deserve to take care of yourself, and you deserve to unconditionally love yourself the same way you would unconditionally love this person, and vice versa. So pile 2, I'm gonna leave this here. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. I'm gonna move things over to the extended now. So we're gonna be looking at the 18 plus energies between you guys. So it is going to be quite steamy, and we'll also get some channeled messages and some more advice. Pile 1s was really interesting, so definitely go check me out there if you're interested. But if you're leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. And thank you so much for watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me, so I just want to say thank you so much for that. Feel free to follow my Instagram if you want, my new Instagram at Tarot, and check out my merch if you want to. My beanies will be leaving soon, so definitely check those out if you're watching this around the time when I upload. Definitely let me know down in the comments how it resonates. I would love to hear. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you left a like, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed and joined our ever-growing fam. But I think I'm finally done rambling, so thank you guys so much for letting me read your cards. I hope I did your situation justice, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 3. If you guys chose the Larimar Moon and the Cosmic Visions Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to use the tarot to look at this person's daydreams and fantasies, but first we have to make sure I'm even channeling you and your person. So these cards are going to be looking at this connection as a whole and the two individual energies between it. The first and second piles have been very different from one another, if that helps at all, if you felt drawn to any others. But if you can at least find yourself in here, you should be good to go. You might find that you see aspects of yourself in both. Just take that as mirroring qualities. But if you find that I'm talking about a person that you didn't ask about, but you are aware of, it's probably because Spirit wants you to know something about it. And then other than that, hopefully I'm channeling, you picked the right pile, and I'm channeling you and your person. But if you go through the piles and can't find your energy in there, then I would say it's probably likely that I didn't pick up on your energy in this reading. So let's go ahead and start by looking at the energy between you and your person. And to start, we have Manifest and the Castle. So these two animal cards are going to represent the higher self and the physical self. I have two for both of you. So for this first person, their higher self is being represented by the bear, and their 3D self is being represented by the mouse. Their energy towards the connection is indecision and endless possibilities. And finally, their last energy towards the connection is perfection. Then the other person in this connection is being represented, their higher self is being represented by the black egg, and their 3D self is being represented by the butterfly. Their energy towards the connection and the other person is the angel of balance. It is what it is, and facade. So I would say of all the piles so far, it is probably likely that you are not with this person right now. Probably not like with this person together. You could be talking to them, but I would say it's definitely likely that this is a connection where you're either on or off with them, or like you are just on and off with them, or it's newer, or this could be a connection in separation for some of you. For others, I'm really getting the vibe that this could be like maybe something from your past that you've been trying to manifest, but hasn't come to fruition yet. But let's just start with this. because the fact that we have the Manifest card and the Castle card really goes to show that it does seem like you and this person are manifesting one another, but not in the most effective way. And I don't think, like, I'll get into it, but it's not just this connection that you guys are manifesting. You're also just manifesting the life that you want to live. Same, both of you are. And what's interesting is that with this Castle card being here, this is often about like material things. And I do think that a lot of manifestations that you both have been focused on have been in the physical world, in your material world. You've probably been focusing on your careers and on what you can create for yourself. Maybe for some of you, you've been extra focused on like renovating your space, renovating your house, or renovating your physical body. But it does almost kind of seem like you both are a fantasy to one another, and also might be guarded with one another. You know, castles typically have like a fortress, and so it's almost kind of like there might be walls up, literal or metaphorical, where you and this person, maybe like there's no like walls at all, but you just might energetically be feeling blocked. Here's what's interesting though. I actually want to start with this butterfly person. So their higher self, whether this is you or your person, for a lot of you, I'm going to say it's more likely that you're this person just based on what I'm seeing here. But your higher self is being represented by the throat chakra. And to have this black egg card shows up, that really indicates to me that this butterfly person is starting to stand in their truth. And as a result, they are transforming in the physical realm. Now, this transformation doesn't have to be as literal as like a physical transformation. It could just be a transformation in how they view this connection, a transformation in how they view themselves and others, a transformation in what they want out of life. But it definitely does seem like this butterfly, the more they come into their truth, the more that they are realizing that there are some people that are meant to be in their lives and others that maybe don't fit with that anymore. This butterfly could be experiencing job changes, changes in location, changes in who they associate with. But this person is definitely in the process of a very necessary transformation in order for this butterfly to become their truest self. I feel like what they still battle is knowing what it is that they truly want and what they might be going after because they want prestige or like adulation. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Adoration. But with this solar plexus card being here and this facade card being here, they're figuring out who they truly are and what their truth truly represents. And because of that, they're learning how to kind of let go of things unapologetically. And what I love is that this card is represented by the number 6. And 6 is the number of unconditional love. So this person is learning how to act out of unconditional love for self instead of others. They are learning how to make decisions that will make them happy and not what will appease others. And what I can see here is that there's a lot of spiritual energy around this butterfly right now, here to support this butterfly and help them achieve balance. Balance between the material world and the spiritual world, balance between their logical side and their emotional side, balance between their higher self and their lower self. It's kind of like this person is learning how to prioritize their time. Now, remember that balance doesn't have to be 50-50. It's just kind of depending on what each person needs, and it's different for everyone. But the more secure this butterfly person is in themselves, the more that they are realizing what is truly meant for them and what isn't. So it's like what they couldn't see before now is clearly a facade. It's something that they thought that they needed, but that they realize that they don't. When it comes to this connection, I feel like this butterfly person has learned a lot from this connection, but I think that this person has also realized that they either weren't getting what they wanted out of this connection, or this connection wasn't going where they wanted it to, or focusing on it just wasn't serving their highest good. So this person, this butterfly person, is in the energy of acceptance and surrender, where they are looking at this connection. I do feel like their intentions are still to manifest this, and I do think that it is a fantasy of theirs to have this connection come to fruition. And I do think that a lot of the reason why they are working on themselves is to be more in alignment with the energy they would need to be if they want this connection to come through. But I feel like this butterfly spirit not only knows the truth of who they are, but they recognize the truth of this connection, and they can no longer deny that truth. But at the same time, they recognize that there are many things in this world that they can't control, and one of those things that they can't control is this person. So this butterfly person has taken this control for themselves and is focusing on what they can do. And they're trying to find balance in their own inner world, which is a really healthy place to be in. And I feel like it's not like the doors on this connection have closed, but they are not standing in a doorway hoping this person will come through, or like sitting by the peephole hoping that they will come in. Instead, they are just focusing on themselves, and if they happen to get a knock on the door, it's like they're open to answering it. Coming over to this person. So this person, I think, for a very long time has been a bird has thoughts. This person is just awakening to their higher self. And I don't even want to say to like spirituality, because this person may not be spiritual. But I think they're kind of either coming out of a dark night of the soul, or they're coming out of some very limiting beliefs that they've had. Now, the fact that they are still represented by this mouse in the physical world kind of goes to show that even though they are starting to awaken to this connection, to what this butterfly person might mean to them, to what they want for their life, they're still not integrating that yet. Because with this mouse card being here, the mouse energy is kind of small-minded. It's very nitpicky and it's very anxious. And I think that this person really has always tried to set the bar low so that they don't disappoint themselves. And I think that they are starting to realize with this Endless Possibilities card that they are worth so much more than they deem themselves to be. Now, I think one thing that's worth noting here is that this mouse person did not understand why the butterfly person, I heard, wanted them so badly or was into them in the first place. They probably felt like the butterfly person was too good for them, or they were under this belief that they did not want to have love in their life, or they weren't worthy of love yet, or worthy of love at all. I feel like this person is literally just learning about manifestation. And what's interesting is that this bear is looking at the black egg. So it's almost like the truth of this connection is coming to them. But now, whether they embrace this truth, start to embody this truth, that's up to them. And with this card here, this person is just learning how to be open to the possibilities. With this indecision card here, I feel like this person really doesn't know what they want. And this isn't in just a relationship sense, this is just in a life sense. I feel like this person has gone like down different paths, and I think that they're maybe starting to realize how they've kind of been offline. Like they've been acting on autopilot. They've been living on autopilot, and their deeper truths have kind of been buried. And what's interesting is that I do feel like for some of you, this person is very intellectual. And if you're this bear person, like, you could be very intellectual, but maybe your viewpoint of what life is and what it should be for you and what you deserve was very limited. With this perfection card being here and the root chakra being highlighted here, I do feel like this person is learning that maybe they were way too hard on themselves, And maybe they had very perfectionist tendencies, or believed that they had to be a certain thing, or act a certain thing, or act a certain way, or embody a certain quality, or live up to these standards before they would be worthy of a connection, before they would be worthy of authentic friendship or authentic love. And I think they're kind of learning now that that level of perfection doesn't exist. But they still are living in a way that is fear-based. But the beautiful thing is that they are starting to awaken. They are starting to find their truth. And whatever their truth is, it might be completely different to this butterfly. It might be, this person doesn't know what their truth is yet. And I can tell that they want this connection, but there's a part of them that feels like they don't deserve it. And there's a part of them as well that feels like they would just be dragging this person down, this butterfly person down. They would just be, they're not worthy of anything like this. Or maybe they felt like this butterfly person didn't fit into their plan, or what they thought their life should be. I do feel like they had a very narrow understanding of what they thought they wanted. And I feel like of the two of these people, this bear mouse person, it is the one that has projected their idea of happiness to be on very material things. I do feel like this connection is a fantasy to them, and I feel like whether these two realize it or not, just by visualizing the other and like having fantasies about the other, they are manifesting this. But one thing that I'm seeing here is if the butterfly person is manifesting this, the only thing slowing this manifestation down on their end is if they flip-flop, and which is absolutely okay to flip-flop, but if the butterfly person is flip-flopping because they feel like their manifestation isn't going to happen, or things like that, I think that's the only thing that's holding them back. It's like the butterfly person is learning to release expectations and just accept things for what they are and stay in their own lane, which is the healthiest energy to be in. They are living in their truth. They are much more in alignment than this bear mouse person is. And that's not to say that like the bear mouse person is less worthy because of that, or is like a worse person because of that. Not at all. It's just these are two people in two different stages in life. It doesn't matter, like this person could be younger than this person, or vice versa. It's just all about where they are at their stages in life. And so this bear person, this awakening process is kind of uncomfortable for them. And it really conflicts with the mindset that they've had for a really long time. So they're kind of at a standstill right now until they can kind of start being more open to what their truest self wants and integrate it. So this energy of indecision is not to be taken personally by the butterfly person, because this bear person literally just doesn't know what they want out of life in general. They might have thought they knew what they wanted, but I think that they are realizing, especially if they've made any recent achievements in their career lately, they might be realizing that it's not as fulfilling as they thought it was. And as they are kind of awakening, their higher, like literally, like they are just starting to come back online, in the sense that they are starting to have more awareness of what's beyond their ego and what their soul wants. Like I feel like this person has been operating in ego for a very, very, very long time. And I think part of their ego just kind of believed that they were worthless. This could also be indicative of some kind of mental illness, like depression or something like that. I'm not diagnosing or anything, of course, but maybe this person had the same mindset for so long. Unlearning this is going to be a process. I'm hearing the Tangled song. This keeps coming through my readings for some reason. At last I see the light. It's like this person is finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but also starting to open up to their truth. And this is a process that happens over time. It doesn't happen instantaneously. Like if you think like for the butterfly person, they didn't start embodying their truth immediately. It took them a long time. And this transformation, I think, is still occurring. It's nowhere near done. But the fact that they're finding balance and living in their truth is exactly what they need to be doing. And Spirit is kind of confirming here that, yes, this connection is manifesting. But these two people still have free will. And both parties have to put their wishes out into the world, but release expectations of what that looks like. Because the truth is, you can't mess up anything that's meant for you. But I often see comments where people will say, I have to stop watching these because I'm tired of having hope. Or people act like having hope is a bad thing, which I don't really understand that. Because like I've always told myself, like, if something doesn't turn out how I hoped, if I don't have any expectations of what it should look like, what replaces it instead is often something far better than I ever could have imagined. And I like to operate under the belief that the universe has my back and they're not going to bring anything into my life that isn't meant for me, if that makes sense. And I feel like if there is some type of soul connection here, like if the butterfly person is aware of some kind of soul connection, it kind of seems like they're learning how to walk in the light without turning around every 10 seconds to see if this bear mouse person is following along, because they're recognizing that they can't control their life. And so this bear mouse person is kind of in this energy of awakening. They're just awakening in general. Whereas the butterfly person is ascending. It's two different places. Neither is better than the other. They're just places where they're at. And so this bear mouse person is learning how to be more open and just learning how to get in touch with themselves. And this is definitely a process, but when it comes to like this connection, I feel like this person has pretty low self-esteem. That's something they're still working on. And they might have felt like they had to be super rich or like something just like very unrealistic in order to be worthy of this butterfly person, which is probably why there was a disconnect there. But I feel like this bear person is just in this place of having no idea what they want. So in the meantime, they are they're kind of just coming out of a hibernation and they are starting to awaken. So that's kind of their process. Whereas the butterfly is actively transforming and they're emotionally detaching from this situation in a healthy way, where they are focusing on what they can control and focusing on their needs and what they want and what they can manifest, and releasing what they can't and trusting that what they send out into the universe, they will get back. So this is overall a very healthy place to be in. Especially for the butterfly person. I feel like the bear person is getting to a much healthier place. And I feel like this bear person will have like highs and lows for sure, because I think that there will be anger towards themselves for like not seeing these truths sooner or not realizing what it is that they wanted, or it might be really jarring for them to realize maybe how disconnected they were from their most natural self. But that's kind of the process of awakening. So you know, it'll all be okay. But we are using the Cosmic Visions Tarot. These are all new indie decks. It's available on Etsy if you are interested in looking it up. So far, I've seen the Empress and Death just by cutting the deck. So I definitely think there is lots of transformations happening here. I definitely feel like the bear always looked at the butterfly as like an idealized version, an ideal person. It kind of has like right person, wrong time energy. But also I think that this bear also didn't know what they wanted or what they did, like what they deserved and like what they believe they could have. It definitely seems like there were a lot of wounds that they had in the past that like kind of shut them down. But no matter which person you are, we are going to see what your person, pile 3, what their fantasies are about you, their daydreams are about you. And if I didn't mention this earlier, in the extended, we're going to look at their 18 plus fantasies, and they have been really juicy so far. So if you want to check that out, be sure to. So Spirit, what are pile 3's person's fantasies or daydreams about pile 3. Okay, we have the Lovers and we have the Moon. Gemini and Pisces energy coming out here. We also have the Hanged Man. Lots of major arcanas. And I shuffled the shit out of these cards, so I don't want to hear anyone in the comments being like, all of those are there because you didn't shuffle them. Like, do you want to sit here for 2 hours with me while I go through and shuffle all my cards? No, you don't. I also just don't have that space on my camera. What else, Spirit? Okay. Okay, we also have the 9 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. Okay, so let's get clarifiers for all of these. Okay, so clarifying the Lovers, we have the 4 of Cups. With clarifying the Moon, we have the Ace of Swords. Clarifying the Hanged Man, we have the 10 of Pentacles. Clarifying the 9 of Pentacles, we have the 5 of Swords. Clarifying the 7 of Swords, please, Spirit. We have the World. Okay. And on the back of the deck, we have the 4 of Pentacles. So this is definitely a pile where the daydreams kind of fall in line with fears and they kind of mix back and forth. For a lot of you, I would say that this is coming from the Bear's perspective. Certainly doesn't have to be. It could definitely be both ways. But I think that this person just fantasizes about being close to you, either for the first time or again. I think that this person kind of viewed this connection as like a chip on their shoulder for like a really long time, where they didn't necessarily have to acknowledge it. Like, it was easy to brush off. But now that they are starting to awaken, which the lotus flower is often a sign of spiritual awakening, they are kind of realizing how they didn't appreciate or weren't able to recognize a good thing when they saw it. It's almost like they didn't realize that they had a choice that was there the whole time. It was like they were so focused on their own mindset that they didn't see any other way. With the Moon and the Ace of Swords, they are starting to have clarity on their subconscious and what's going on the inside. They are really having this this difficult moment where they're coming to face the truth of how they were limiting themselves and how there were signs all along towards their truth and they just didn't know it. I feel like this 9 of Pentacles probably represents the butterfly person. So if you're the butterfly person, I would definitely say that this person often thinks about their actions towards this connection. Maybe they felt like they were selfish, or if you walked away from them, they might be feeling like a little scorned by that, but that's obviously like not your problem. It's almost like this person is kind of, I guess I have to use the term shooketh by how strong you are and how you can be happy in your own independence. And also, if you're just like doing well financially, or just you seem very secure, very happy, I feel like they are looking at you as like, wow, like they totally didn't need me anyway. And maybe their fear to begin with was because they thought that maybe that people were looking at them like they needed them and they didn't know what they wanted. They're starting to understand why they were so afraid of you, because I do think that there were fears about you. I want to see what's under this 4 of Pentacles. of course, this Ten of Cups. I feel like no matter who you both of you are holding on to this idea of emotional fulfillment. But the difference is the butterfly person, they are recognizing that even though the butterfly person knows that their they could find emotional fulfillment with the bear person, they are acknowledging that they have to do it themselves. Whereas, and they're holding on to that idea of focusing on their own emotional fulfillment. And they do have these fantasies about, coming together with this person and having, this Ten of Pentacles and this Ten of Cups, where you both are abundant in not only material wealth, like that castle, but you have a wealth of love and happiness around the both of you as well. It's like you are both learning how to see color in between all of the black and white energies around you both. And what I love here is that we have this elephant family, and elephants overcome obstacles, and I think both of you have these fantasies of overcoming what holds both of you back. I definitely feel like your person, pile 3, they are very withdrawn in the physical, but they are starting to see things from a different perspective. And I feel like they thought that what's interesting with this Hanged Man versus the Ten of Pentacles is that I feel like this person always had the same fantasies as you. Like, they were always aware of it deep down, but they felt like it wasn't realistic because of how they were viewing it. Either because they believed they weren't worthy of that, or they felt like it didn't fit into their life plan. But I think that their life plan was very based on ego. And now, actually, I think both of you had life plans based very much on ego, or like what other people would view as acceptable. And you both are kind of in this energy of taking the reins of your own lives back. I feel like this person, a lot of their thoughts are more so about them and how they need to change. About how they were ignoring a lot of truths, a lot of beautiful flowing energy, because they just weren't open to it. Their eyes were closed. They were too busy focusing on what was in front of them. But with this Hanged Man card here, it's like they're starting to realize how, because they have clarity on their fears, they're starting to see the truth here. They are learning how they can have this Ten of Pentacles, or that they are worthy of this Ten of Pentacles, by changing their mindset. They're learning that their dreams and their fantasies aren't a bad thing. And I do feel like this person, for some of you, psychedelics could be significant here. There could have been some ego deaths that occurred. But one thing that I'm seeing here, especially with this Ten of Pentacles, is that maybe this person was very limited in how they viewed things because of a family influence. Like, maybe they were doing what would make their family happy, and they are starting to realize that they can't live within those constrictions. But I do feel like this connection is very cosmic. And so I think that this connection, especially if your person is the bear person, they're kind of having their whole reality flipped on their head. Whereas if you're the bear person and your person is the butterfly person, they're kind of just in this energy of focusing on themselves and surrendering this connection, but their fears have turned into truths, and they know the power of this connection. They believe in the power of this connection, and truthfully, if they had the option, they would choose this connection. But they are no longer focusing on empty cups. They are trying to focus on what makes them happy. With the Seven of Swords energy here, I definitely feel like your person this is kind of like a mental thing. It's not a fantasy, but more of like a dialogue that runs within them with this World card here, where they're realizing that they need to stop self-sabotaging, and they need to stop cutting themselves short or selling themselves short. And if they were deceptive towards you in the past, I feel like they're understanding now how they were really holding themselves back. They were holding their truth back, and how unfair maybe their actions were. So with this World card, I feel like they're trying to close out this cycle. They want to end this chapter where they are just focused on on being sly and like sliding through life. The fox could be a significant animal. In terms of signs, we have Gemini, Pisces. With the World card, we have all the fixed energies. So we have more Pisces energy with the Hanged Man, but with the World, we have Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus. So I really think that this person, they might be fantasizing about how they can kind of just like sneak back into your world without like much noise. It's almost like they wish they could just come in. It's like they don't want to have to acknowledge the past. But I think this person has awareness that they're going to have to face the truth of a lot of things. They are learning how to embrace their own independence, but I feel like they see you and they might be very intimidated by you, especially if you're the butterfly person, because you are further along on this journey, and you not only do you seem to have more awareness, but you do have more awareness of your truth and what you want out of your life. And so I feel like this person has fears, you know, about like being hurt or the tables turning and them getting a taste of their own medicine. Like they are afraid of that happening from you, because there are a lot of fears here. But the more they explore their inner depths about you and about this connection, the more clarity they actually have. And so they are learning that they have to start facing their fears. And if not facing their fears, at the very least, learn how to be more open to what their subconscious and what their intuition is telling them. And I think that's why they're finally coming online. It's like before they kind of pretended it was easy to ignore what their intuition was saying or what their feelings were telling them, because I do think that their feelings about this connection were buried very deep. But it's kind of more just like, instead of fantasies, they're learning that they have to stop escaping their inner world. They have to stop avoiding their inner world, because if they continue to just focus on what will make the people around them happy, or focus on what will make them seem more societally acceptable, that is just like holding them back, and they are furthering the process of a lack of fulfillment. The Saturn here is really calling to me. I do feel like maybe one or both of you is around the age of your Saturn return, so you're experiencing a lot of changes if you hadn't healed those things yet. But Saturn is also about the truth, and I feel like this person is realizing that their truth can change based upon how they feel about themselves. And I do think that they continue to hold on to this connection. What's underneath the 10 of Cups? The 4 of Wands. Yeah, they fantasize about having a balanced connection. They fantasize about coming home. I feel like they always knew that they felt a sense of home with you, but they had to realize what it was like to lose that in order to want to embrace that. They want stability and harmony here. They want to rejoice and have happiness in their life again. For some of you, they could definitely fantasize about, you know, having the whole 9 yards, like getting married, having a family for some of you, if that's what you want. I do feel like with this 10 of Pentacles, they are redefining what legacy means to them, and that they don't have to be responsible for someone, that they can have an equal partner. But it's almost like this person has been really turning their back towards this connection, because acknowledging their inner truth about what they were feeling was too intense for a very long time. And I feel like, truthfully, especially if they're the bear person, they're only starting to open up to that. Whereas if you're the bear person and this is the butterfly person, I definitely think a lot of their fantasies revolve around the same things. But instead of focusing on this connection and focusing on where you're at on your journey, they're choosing themselves first, and they're learning how to embrace their independence, and they are kind of surrendering this. And, you know, they still have their inner world that they fantasize about with you, but they are no longer denying themselves any opportunities that may come their way, because they recognize that they can't just be focused on others, they have to focus on them. But I really felt called, I didn't do this in any other piles, but I do feel like I'm gonna pull a couple cards because I feel like Spirit has more messages for you. So I just want to see, Spirit, what do you want pile 3 to know about this connection? What is important for them to know? The 8 of Cups. We have the 4 of Swords. We have the Queen of Swords, and on the back of the deck, the Page of Cups and Death. Okay, so I definitely think that this is a clear message that if this connection is something that you are interested in, that you have hopes for a rebirth in the future, Spirit is saying that this rebirth is possible. What's the moth in the Silence of the Lambs? Like, this makes me think of this moth. But there's an importance of detaching from, it kind of does seem like there needs to be a break from this connection, or a break from like focusing on it in general, which I feel like a lot of you have already been in that place. But I do feel like maybe for some of you, there just needs to be, there's things that you still need to heal from, if not from this person, then with how you view love and how open you are to it. Because with this Queen of Swords card, this raven like makes me think of like Edgar Allan Poe. Like, I'm hearing nevermore. And I feel like there are certain things that maybe you settled for, or behavior that you allowed that wasn't fair to you, and maybe you did that because you were afraid of being rejected. And I think that Spirit wants you to understand that you need to have a healthy balance of playful fun, but also logical detachment. You know, with this 4 of Swords here, I do feel like there does need to be healing with yourself, healing with what you believe to be true about yourself and what you believe you deserve. I do think that if you are the butterfly person, you're going to have to maybe find closure within you might have to give yourself the closure that you need in order to move forward truly, because I do think that there are things that are stopping you from seeing this picture completely. But see, here's the thing, you were represented by knowing your truth. So I think you know the truth of this connection, but I think you need to look beyond the connection and think about, okay, doesn't matter what the connection is, what do I deserve and what do I actually want? Because the truth of the matter is that you do have free will, and you can have whatever you want. Like, Spirit wants to give you whatever you want, but maybe like for some of you, you might be like trying to move on with like unsatisfying connections. And I feel like Spirit is saying, instead of like just trying to bury this person or bury this connection, like it's not really going anywhere, but it may be helpful for you to kind of focus on your inner child and have playful energy and focus on your own transformation and think about things from a logical perspective where you're always putting yourself first, because that's incredibly important. But also not locking yourself in a box of what you can believe to be possible. Don't be afraid to manifest what you want, but you have to walk away from the past, in the sense that if you do want to fresh start with this person, if you're holding on to grudges, you can play it cool energetically, but I feel like this person will hold on to it and it will be more intimidating. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do that, but it does kind of seem like there are things, like not just with this person, but in your past in general, that do need healing. And I think that will help you have a healthier self-esteem with yourself. And I think that there's just a need to be honest about what your needs are as a person. And no matter what this connection is, are you fulfilling those needs first and foremost? Because you are more important than any connection that you have with somebody. And your needs are more important than any connection that exists. And at the end of the day, there can be a transformation here, but you have to focus on what you deserve first. And I do think that for some of you, there may be some like grudges going on, but I don't think that's for all of you. But I do think that there's a need to kind of reel in any anxiety you have, because while your fears don't manifest, they definitely hold your manifestations back. And I think there's a need to acknowledge, no matter what your gender is, your feminine Empress energy. We all have feminine and masculine energy within us. And I think that Spirit is asking you to allow this situation to unfold naturally. Don't put any timing limitations on things. Don't put any expectations on it. Just focus on what you want. If somebody else comes in the meantime and it feels right, I think that you deserve to explore that. And at the end of the day, like, if you and this person, you can't mess up anything that's meant for you. So long as you're choosing yourself and focusing on your needs, everything else will fall in line. And I think the most important thing to remember is that the universe does not work on time. Like, I don't like doing tarot readings about when will something happen, because truthfully, divine timing is created in the present. It is not a set date in the calendar. You know, your free will creates this divine timing. And so long as you're choosing yourself and choosing what is right for you in every moment, the universe will continue to energetically align you with what is in your highest good. And when it comes to these more soulful connections, honestly, it seems like, especially if you're the butterfly person, the amount of healing that you've done has already awakened them. So have faith in that and just trust that you deserve everything. Like, you are this Empress and you deserve to give birth to so many different creations, not just a relationship, but nourishing yourself and focusing on what you can control, and maybe embodying your creativity could be really helpful and be really healing. Maybe there are just traumatic things from your past that you need to heal from, that it could be very helpful to focus on your creative energy and focus on nurturing yourself and giving yourself that love so that you don't look for it anywhere else. But we are going to finish off with some advice before we get into the extended. I know I gave you guys some already, but Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 3 when it comes to this connection? What do you want them to know? We have the Star, blessings, inspiration, time to shine. So Spirit's saying no matter what, there are blessings coming your way, and there's nothing wrong with having hope. Because as long as you're choosing yourself and you're choosing your needs first, you won't really be focusing on anyone else or what is or isn't happening. We also have freedom, spread your wings. So this is also Spirit saying that you are not tied to this connection. Like, you have free will to leave it at any point, and you can be open to whatever you want. And at the same time, you know, you have the freedom to stay in this connection. You have the freedom to leave this connection. I feel like Spirit is asking you to be aware of how flip-flopping desires can kind of confuse what you're manifesting. And I think Spirit wants you to focus on your North Star, your guiding star, what makes you shine, what makes you happy, and focus on what you can control and not what you can't. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to be open to new experiences. Nothing has to be set in stone. It might be good for you, honestly, to just like casually explore things. Like with this Page of Cups, like flirtatiously explore things without getting too deep, especially if you're like you've got a lot of Pisces energy and you might just be a really, really deep person. It might be helpful for you to just like go on casual dates or something to see like what things you do like and what things you don't like, or just explore your inner playful and creative energy and focus on who you are and who you're becoming, and just keep the focus on you. What else? Okay, so we also have, wow, okay, yeah, everything that I was saying. So we have fire, transformation, rebirth, renewal, and create, nurture your creative energy. Follow what fuels your fire. But also this is definitely saying there is opportunities for a rebirth and a renewal here. But if you're focused on how and when, you're not focusing on the transformation that you need to energetically be aligned with it. Timing differs for everybody, and I want you to understand that the universe does not work based, like they don't have a date in the calendar where they're like, oh, so-and-so, they're gonna come back together. Pile 3 in their person, they're gonna come back together. It's all about energy. The universe matches you with the energy that you are putting out. So it's almost like the more you transform yourself and focus on what you can create and nurture that Empress energy, like I said, the more in alignment I think you will be, not only with this connection, but with your truth. And on the back of the deck, we have action, awaken the warrior woman within. So Spirit is really saying, take action towards your dreams and the dreams that you can control. Take time to create, focus on your freedom. Don't be afraid to explore, and have hope that everything will turn out the way it is meant to. I think you're already in this energy anyway. You just need that reminder that if something is meant for you, you simply cannot mess it up. But the one thing that can slow you down or hold you back is having fears that the universe doesn't have your back, or having like specific times or dates, becoming impatient with the universe, being like, when is this coming? Because truth be told, the universe doesn't work on your clock. It doesn't give a shit about your clock. And so at the end of the day, you got to put all your eggs in your basket and focus on what it is that you want to create. Follow your own inner fire, because that path will never lead you astray. And if you and this person are truly meant to be and aligned, you will come back together. So pile 3, I'm going to leave this reading here, and now I'm going to take it over to the extended, where we are going to look at your person's sexual fantasies about you. So it will be 18 plus. And we're also going to look at some more advice and get some lovers oracle messages from them. So if this reading resonated and you enjoyed it, definitely see me over there. But if you were leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching all the way through, and thank you so much to everyone who has been watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me, so I just want to say thank you so much. Definitely check out my merch if you're interested in that. And if you want to follow my new Instagram, since my other one was deleted, be sure to check that out as well. I'll have it linked below. Definitely comment down below, let me know how it resonates. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you left a like, and if you haven't already and you'd like to, I would love it if you subscribed and clicked that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye. Hi there, pile 4. If you guys chose the Labradorite Rose, haha, that rhymes, and the Revival Art Tarot, this is going to be your reading. But to make sure that you picked the right pile and this reading is actually meant for you, I am going to be looking at the connection first. So if you find that you can find yourself here, congratulations, this reading is for you. If this person sounds like somebody other than the person on your mind, but you know who they are, it might be because Spirit has messages for you about them. Ideally, this will be the person that you are thinking of, the person that is on your mind. But if you find that you see yourself in both of them, it's likely because the energies are mirrored. So let's go ahead. And also too, because it is general, you might have to like flip-flop some certain things, but just take what resonates, throw away what doesn't. This is a general read. So we're going to start by looking at the energies of the connection as a whole. So to start, we have release and the stone. And then now I'm going to pull out the energies of both people. So to start, we have the vulture, and this is representing the first person's, in this connection, their higher self. So their higher self is being represented by the vulture, and their 3D physical self is being represented by the crocodile. And their energy towards this connection is number 33, door to romance, and number 23, healing the heart. And finally, we have workaholic, which is in the throat chakra. And then the second person in this connection is their higher self is being represented by the dolphin, and their 3D self is being represented by the sea serpent. Their energy towards the connection is being represented by a woman holding a heart, and also the storyteller, number 17, which I think is interesting because these two both reduced to 8. And then finally, their last energy towards this connection is confusion and the crown chakra. So this is really interesting. I swear, I don't think I said in the other piles that it was really interesting. So I only did it once this time. But anyway, this is kind of a paradoxical energy for these two to be in within this connection. But I think there's a very good reason for that. These two are releasing things, but what they're releasing is vastly different. And this is an excellent example of how energy can be mirrored, but the semantics of the energy of what's really going on is different. So I actually want to start with the stone first. The fact that this connection is represented by the stone really goes to show that this connection is a very strong one. And it is something that can help these two or hinder these two. Because a stone it's a rock. I'm thinking of SpongeBob. It's not just a boulder, it's a rock. The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles. Anyway, because this connection is being represented by the stone, Spirit is saying that clearly this connection is so strong that whatever is going on in the physical doesn't matter because it's almost omnipresent. The same way a stone is around for hundreds and hundreds of years and is only slowly eroded over time if it's like, you know, if it's affected by like weather and shit. This is something incredibly solid, and it's something that can propel these two forward, or like I said, hold them back. So what I'm seeing here is that the scenario of what these two people, like what their status is going to be different for all of you. For some, you could be friends. For others, you could be talking to this person. You could be in separation with them. You could be with them. Like I said, there is so many variations for this one. But these two are both working on releasing things. And I think this is honestly really fantastic because the things that they are releasing are unique. I'm going to start with this person because their energy does seem to be a little bit more... I don't even know what adjective I was going to use, so I'm just going to get into it. So their higher self is being represented by the vulture. And I think that this person has either been through a lot of shakeups recently. This eclipse could have really, really messed them up. Same here. I'm with ya. This side of pile 4. And it kind of seems like there's a lot of spiritual lessons right now that are happening for their highest good. And I feel like this person is... their physical version of themselves is not really understanding why all of these things are happening. But the vulture card comes through when tough love is needed, or things that come in are like misunderstood, or things that happen in their life are misunderstood, and they might not be understood in the beginning, but they turn out to be blessings in disguise. So I feel like this person's higher self is honestly doing a lot of heavy lifting right now, because I think that the 3D self of this person has been emotionally unaware of themselves for a long time. It's like their emotional body didn't exist, or they were really turned off by it. And what's interesting now is that because of everything that's happened here, this crocodile person is stuck, but it's not because this is like a very needed stuck energy, if that makes sense. They kind of need to learn how to start sitting in their feelings, because typically they would much rather fly above them, avoid their feelings, pretend like they don't exist. And I think for this person, it has been very easy for them to like not acknowledge their feelings. It's almost like it's like a chip on their shoulder or something like that. It's kind of interesting because this pile kind of reminds me of pile 3, but like further along on, just further along energetically, or have been through more. But what I'm seeing here is that this person is not really emotionally available to this connection right now, even though they want to be. And so their releasing is a lot about releasing their heart out of the cage that they've left it in. But before they can do that, they have to heal their heart first. They're not going to feel safe to open it up to anyone, or because, like, let's be real here, like, you could be with this person and they could just be like more emotionally unavailable or afraid to fully open themselves up, you know what I mean? But I do see kind of like energetically for a lot of you, this could be like a separation, or just you and this person are either friends or nothing more, something like that. But like I said, different for all of you. So they are in this process of healing their heart. And in fact, it is this connection that has forced them to start healing their heart. I don't know how much of that is this connection directly, but this person always has this connection embedded within them. It's like your energy is omnipresent around them and their energy is omnipresent around you. And they are learning that they have to heal their heart because they are missing out on a lot of important experiences in life. And this doesn't even have to do with love. It's just that when you don't process things through your emotional body, you're neglecting a whole way of experiencing life, a whole layer of perception that can add to a person's experiences. And I think that this person has probably been running from what they've been feeling for a long time. And it's like they've had opportunities, because like the romantic feelings here are real and definitely reciprocated. I mean, we have 33 and 44, and we have these like heart cards, and I'll get into this person in a second, but I think that this person is learning that the things that they were investing in are not as emotionally fulfilling as they thought. And I think this person is realizing that it's not that they don't have a heart, it's just that they haven't wanted to heal it out of fear of it being broken again. And so they're kind of sitting in this experience of feeling their emotions once more. And I think that the cause of this has been some potentially triggering or tragic things for them, like people leaving their life, losing things or experiences, arguments with people. It's like things are falling away and it's out of their control. And it's kind of because the universe is forcing this crocodile person to stop and start feeling again. Because this person could kind of honestly run from their emotions forever if they truly wanted to. And typically, this is the type of person who would bury their emotions in their work. So I don't know if something happened at work, like maybe something not so great happened. Maybe for some of you, this person lost their job, or they are like maybe not allowed to work, like maybe they got sick or something, or they're being forced to take a break, or they're just having the realization that they can't keep escaping through work, because work will never bring them true emotional fulfillment. Yes, their career is a big important part of their life, but if they continue to just focus on their work, I think they're coming to this realization that life is just going to happen and they're going to miss out on very important experiences in life. I feel like this person never meant to like completely shut their heart off or anything, but I think that they came to the realization that they were procrastinating on healing things and procrastinating on facing their emotions and healing from their truth, because they were just living in the moment and not realizing that the future would become now. And so because they put it off, like they had the free will to start healing this, but they avoided it at every turn. So the universe is kind of saying, you can't have anything truly emotionally fulfilling, and you can't be truly vulnerable until you learn how to heal your heart and come to terms with the fact that it can be broken, but that it can be fixed and that it can feel really wonderful things. So let's move over here and let's look at this dolphin sea serpent-esque person. So this person's higher self is being represented by water energy. And I definitely feel like this person is naturally very spiritual. It is likely that they are a healer of some kind, or they do have, like, they could be an empath or have like clairsentience, or like just psychic abilities in general. The dolphin is incredibly emotionally intelligent, and this is definitely somebody who is able to take in a lot of information in their environment. And this person is somebody that has a naturally very big heart. And I think that this person has always had a very big heart for this vulture crocodile person. But this is an example of where this dolphin person was kind of being held back because I think that they were maybe focusing too much on this other person and how they could fix or heal them, or hopes that things would turn around. And I think that this dolphin person is realizing that they need to release their expectations, or release their need to know everything about what will happen here, and what this is meant to be, what this is meant to play out as. Their 3-day self is being represented by the sea serpent, which is representative of the sacral chakra. So this person definitely is cool with the fact that they still desire this connection, they desire this person, but they are learning to release their attachments to this connection, their attachments to an outcome. It's kind of like they're embracing the truth of that they will probably always have feelings for this person, and that they do this connection holds a special place in their heart, but they're realizing that they can't slow their story down or stop their story in hopes that this person will catch up, or that they can control the situation and have it happen how they want. I'm not sure if I forgot to mention, but the vulture crocodile person, they are learning how to release pain. They're learning how to release the resistance they have towards acknowledging their heart. And what they are experiencing is a lot of emotional release in general, so that they can make room for new emotional experiences. So this dolphin person, they are really learning how to integrate their heart into their creativity. So they could be focusing on creating a business around healing. They could just be embodying their creativity through writing, drawing, really anything, like making videos, reading cards. They could be really doing any sort of amount of things. But they're truly embodying their creative energy, and they're embracing their truth. And I think this has been very freeing for them, because for a while I do think that this dolphin person was stagnating on their progress, because they were kind of too focused on this person and what they were doing and how they were feeling and what was going on with them. And truthfully, where this person is at right now is they don't really know what's gonna happen with this connection, and they don't really know where their path leads. Oh my God, I just noticed though, this person has a key over here, and this person has a keyhole. So I definitely think that there is, like, the fact that this stone is here, like, I feel like this connection isn't going anywhere, but these two might not be anywhere near each other physically, or there could be a distance, or there's ebbs and flows to this. But what spirit really wants for this dolphin person, their higher self is kind of nudging them along down their own path. Because so long as they are happy and following what they need to do, they are on the right path. But this person is kind of realizing that they create their story every single day, and that it is not their job to try to write a story that will always include this person, because it's not their job. They know the truth of this connection. They know that they're always going to have, this person is always going to have a place in their heart. They're always going to feel a really special bond with this connection. This connection is always going to be a part of them. The same way their energy is omnipresent with this vulture crocodile person, the vulture crocodile their energy is always omnipresent with the dolphin. And what's interesting is that because of how emotionally intelligent and just like psychically aware they are, because they are connected by the crown, it does seem like they are pretty spiritual by nature, or just have like deep beliefs that they hold on to. They're usually aware of like this person's energy and what's going on, and it's almost kind of like they've been maybe too tapped in to the energies going on between these two. And so this dolphin person has been learning to release their expectations, their attachments, and release the need to know what is going on all the time, and the need to know where this person is at, and the need to know what's going to happen next. Instead, Spirit is redirecting them to say, okay, what do you want to do? What would make you happy? Because this person's desire to focus on this other person does come from a kind of codependent place, whereas this person has kind of been in a more avoidant space. So there was kind of like, maybe even though these two were not even like in contact or acknowledging each other, the energy was still that of a chaser and a runner, if that makes sense. And I think that this dolphin person, by the way, they don't have to be a woman at all. Doesn't matter your gender, but there's a lot of heart energy here. And this person's heart, this dolphin person, their heart is a lot more healed, and has been. This person is a lot more aware of their emotions, and truthfully, they've transformed from the time that they've met this person to now. And even then, they know that their love for this connection, for this person, isn't going anywhere. But at the same time, they have to love themselves more than anything else in their life, and that they can't put their life on hold to wait for this person, or they can't control how or if this person comes back into their life. But the fact that we have the stone here is a very promising energy to me, that tells me that this connection, like, it's never gonna go anywhere, even if it's like always there in spirit. And I think that spirit, these two have already learned a lot from one another, and spirit will always, as long as it's healthy for the both of them and in alignment with their highest good, spirit will always try to redirect their paths back to one another. But spirit really needs this dolphin sea serpent person to be in this energy of confusion. They might be feeling disconnected from their guides, or just from knowing what's going to happen next, just from knowing what they should do. And that's kind of very intentional. Spirit is kind of clouding them because they don't want them to start looking back again. Because it's almost like they were checking in on this person and still just like making sure that they have feelings for them and that this is real, because they're almost afraid of that truth going away. But I think that this dolphin person is realizing that this truth isn't going anywhere, and that it is what it is. It's just gonna, truths can coexist essentially. And so, these two can have feelings for each other, but this person may not be ready for anything real, and this person may be ready to keep moving forward and needs to stay open to what may be. You never know what we have on our path still coming our way. And so this dolphin person has a really balanced approach to this, where they are just focusing on them, focusing on their happiness, focusing on creating the life that they want to live. Some of them might be, if this is you, for example, if you've been like manifesting by scripting, this is a confirmation that spirit hears you. But spirit is really saying, like, especially if you've been like journaling your feelings and stuff like that, please keep doing that. It's helping you stay in alignment with yourself. And if you're this vulture crocodile person, you might want to look into journaling your feelings and things like that, because it might help you be more aware of them. But essentially, this dolphin person has no idea what is going to happen here, and that's exactly where they're meant to be. That is an alignment for them, because the way they were focusing too hard on this connection, and it was causing them to sink. And they're a dolphin, they're meant to swim, but they have to come up for air, you know what I mean? So they're focusing on them and their own happiness, and focusing on what makes their heart happy, and focusing on how they can make their heart happy and not what somebody else is doing, because they have come to the realization, or at some point along this journey, that focusing on somebody else or depending on somebody else to make them feel complete or help them heal their heart is not going to truly bring them happiness or fix anything. So they are focusing on their own desires and learning how to write their own story. And instead of trying to be the narrator and know what's happening, or the author, I guess, and like in a way they are the author, but they're also the main character. They're learning how to become a main character for themselves. And instead of trying to figure out what the ending is going to be, focus on what they can do to create the outcome or the ending that they want, and appreciate the journey and the process. Whereas this person, this vulture crocodile person, is at a very important standstill so that they can learn that their emotions are valid and that they need to be open to their heart again. So two pretty different places, but the energies are kind of similar in the sense that like one has to stop and one has to go. And this one was probably going, and this one was probably stuck at one point. And it's kind of like they flip-flopped for very important reasons in order to reap the benefits. Like, this is a mutually beneficial connection, not in the sense that like it's not difficult or painful at times, but in the sense that it brings about a lot of healing, even if you misunderstand that healing or you don't understand why certain things have to happen a certain way. But yeah, this person, I feel like this vulture crocodile person, definitely going through a more difficult time than the dolphin sea serpent person is. But that's also because this dolphin person, they've already transmuted a lot of the difficult energies around this connection. They've already healed from a lot of that stuff, and they're learning that they can embrace their heart. So they don't necessarily, they've already kind of gone through that. And so it's kind of like this person's turn, if that makes sense. But we're going to go ahead and see what your person's fantasies are about you. I hope that, and truthfully, if you are this dolphin person, which for a lot of you, I feel like you likely will be, just because you're already like a healer and have spiritual energy, and I can tell you checked in on this connection. It's probably a relief for you to hear that like it's okay for you to be confused, it's okay for you to not know what's next for you. And I think that one thing you need to hear is that it's okay for things not to turn out the way that you thought they would. You of all people should know that the universe has your back and is not going to bring you anything to deliberately hurt you. You might feel like that's the case, especially probably when you first met this person. But I think that as you heal, you're learning a lot more about what the truths of the situation are, and what you truly need to know about it. Yeah, like you've already gone through that heartbreak. So this is the Revival Art Tarot. And it is available on Etsy, I believe. That is where I got it. I do have a small request though. Kind of my only gripe with this deck is that they didn't put like what the paintings are on it. So if you know what any of these paintings are, definitely please comment them, because I would just like to know. Okay, so Spirit, what is pile 4's person? What are they currently fantasizing about or daydreaming about when it comes to pile 4? Okay, we have the Queen of Cups to start. And I do also want to say as well, like, even though I've been asking about like daydreams and stuff, sometimes fears and other things have been coming through, so just be open. Okay, this one wants to, okay, the King of Swords. So we have the Queen of Cups and the King of Swords. And we have the Two of Cups. Wow, okay. This is already like pretty intense. Okay, we also have the Hierophant and the Nine of Swords. I'm actually gonna move these over because I want to get one more. One more, Spirit. Okay, we have the Page of Wands. Okay. Let's get some clarifiers for these, please, Spirit. Can you clarify the Queen of Cups for me? Okay, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. We have the Nine of Cups upright. We have the Eight of Cups upright. We have the Seven of Swords upright with the Hierophant. We have the Ten of Wands with the Nine of Swords. And finally, clarifying the Page of Wands. Okay, we have the Seven of Cups clarifying the Page of Wands. I'm just going to take that one. And actually, I want to get a clarifier for this Eight of Cups. Okay, the Four of Wands. And so on the back of the deck, we have the Three of Cups. Okay, what's underneath that? Knight of Swords. Okay. So I'm going to be honest, like right away, I feel like for a lot of you, this is going to be from the vulture crocodile's perspective, but it certainly doesn't have to be. And it kind of seems like Spirit is like showing us what's going on. And actually what's really interesting is I feel like both of your higher selves are represented here because this is a swords. The vulture is represented by air and we have a King of Swords, and then the dolphin's represented by water. So we have the Queen of Cups here, so water and air. Of course, don't have to be, the genders could be flip-flopped. You could have the same gender. It doesn't have to be like female, male. It can be any combination. It's more so about the energy. I wanted to grab that card though. I just like, look at how similar these two are. Like, like, tell me this isn't the same card. Like, this is the same card. Anyway, I feel like your person, pile 4, acknowledges how strong this connection is. And not only that, they acknowledge that you are somebody very compassionate and nurturing. And it's kind of like, it's kind of funny. I'm not like the situation is funny, but it's like if you are the dolphin, this person is, they're energetically aware that you're not really focused on them anymore. And it's kind of like they've finally looked up from their work and they're like, wait, where's my Queen of Cups? Well, shit. It's like, this guy's like, well, Dale, you know, you made your bed, now you're gonna have to lie in it. Like, he's like, you only have yourself to blame here. It's kind of like he's just like, shit. And I definitely think that this King of Swords wants the truth about this queen. Or if, for example, you are the vulture, then I would say the dolphin person sees you as their wish fulfillment. Like they view you as their ideal partner, but they don't have clarity on that. So they're kind of trying to mentally distance themselves from that and kind of focus on what they can control because they don't have clarity about the situation. They are confused. I think both of these people fantasize about coming together and having this beautiful Two of Cups together. At first I was like, do they want to walk away from this connection with this Eight of Cups here? But what I'm seeing here is that this person recognizes that in order to kind of open their heart, they do have to walk away from a lot of conditioning and a lot of learned beliefs. And actually, I think that they're, especially for the vulture person, there might be specific trauma around religion, not spirituality, but religion, where maybe they were raised in a very like religious and strict household and they felt really restricted from that. Maybe they are having to realize that, like, with this Hierophant here, because like this Hierophant makes me think of commitment, but at the same time with the Seven of Swords here, it also makes me think about tradition. And I think that, like, maybe this person never thought that they wanted something like marriage or something because maybe, for example, their parents got divorced or something like that. Or they've experienced a lot of heartbreak, and it's like, yeah, it's good when it's good, but once it's bad, you know, it's almost like this person maybe was modeled. I would say especially this is likely if your person is the Vulture person, this King of Swords type energy. It seems like it was modeled from a young age that relationships aren't always the most stable thing to put all your eggs in. And in fact, you can really get hurt this way, and that even if a commitment is on paper, it can still be undone. And so I think this person has always been focused on what makes them happy, but now they're starting to realize, they're having this like, oh shit moment. What I thought made me happy isn't really making me happy. And I think this person fantasizes about, like, for some of you, definitely with this Hierophant and Four of Wands, getting married, but they have this huge fear of it ending poorly, especially if children were to become involved in all of that. I don't know why, but this like makes me think of like Archangel Michael, so he might be involved in this connection in some way. But I feel like this person feels like in order to pursue this connection, they would have to go things in a very traditional way, and it's almost like sabotaging everything that they have thought that they wanted. And so there's this interesting split where, or dichotomy, I guess, where what they thought they wanted and what they actually wanted satisfy two different things. What they actually are starting to realize they want will satisfy their soul, but what they thought they want will satisfy their ego. And satisfying their ego is a lot more comforting in the short term than it is the long term. So I can definitely see here that this person is kind of burdened by this connection. They could be burdened by the past of this connection as well, and they ruminate about it a lot. I feel like this person truthfully just wants to have fun, but they are realizing that this fickle fun isn't really fulfilling. Like, they've kind of been in this childish Page of Wands energy. Even though they are very intelligent and mature, they also have this ability to just be very childlike and follow these just fickle interests or explore their options is kind of what I'm seeing. And they have done that for a while. And I think that they are starting to realize, maybe for some of you too late, that this Three of Cups, this energy, this lighthearted energy is fun and it's safe, but it doesn't bring deeper satisfaction. And it's like the longer they avoid this, their truth and their involvement within this connection, that it kind of weighs heavier on them, and it creates more anxiety, it creates more fears. And I think that for a lot of you, it's not that they don't know how they feel about you. They know how they feel about you, but they're afraid of getting hurt. And it's like they fantasize about having a joyful reunion with you and having this lighthearted reunion, or just having fun with you and not having a care in the world. But that's really not how life works, unfortunately. And with the Seven of Cups energy, I feel like they were confused for a very long time, and they may still be confused. I do feel like they dream about you a lot, and I think at times they might have like sexual dreams about you, which we'll get into that in the extended. But it seems like overall they try to avoid like what they daydream about you, because, or they might feel safe in that daydream, like maybe they explore it late at night, but there's a conflicting energy here of what they thought they wanted and what feels safe, and what they think they might want, and the fear of the unknown and what that might create. Now, if you're the Vulture person, let's talk about what this Dolphin person is fantasizing about, because they're fantasizing about you, and they really want a union with you. That is their ideal. They want this harmonious union with you. They want to have like a joyful, stable connection. Ideally, they would want to, if everything works out and everything is shipshape, they would want to, have like the long the long haul with you, like grow old and have kids leave the nest sort of thing. They would want a long commitment to you, but they are recognizing that they can't place their eggs in that. Like, even though the connection is strong and they feel it very, very intensely, they recognize that they would be holding themselves back. And I think it really burdens them as well. They have anxiety over this connection because they feel like if they get involved in something and this connection is in the back of their mind, then they're not being true. They're not being true to who they are, and they might always be looking back. And so they're kind of in this energy of just trying to move on from the past and give them the chance to have a fresh slate. Give themselves a chance to have a fresh slate and not self-sabotage. So they're kind of just following their own spiritual guidance, which they are naturally tapped into. But because they are in this energy of confusion, it's kind of like they're feeling their way through the dark, which is kind of honestly probably one of the first times, not one of the first times, but the first time in a while that they felt like that. But I do think that this connection weighs as heavily on them as it does you, no matter which person that you are. And I feel like this person, for some, they could have like a sibling or a child. That's this Page of Wands energy that they focus their energy on, whether that's you or them. But yeah, if your person is the dolphin person, I think that they're trying to find what makes them happy. They're trying to find their inner child and find what makes them happy. But I think that there is a dissatisfaction, like without this, you, the vulture, if you are the vulture in their life. And I think both of these people are just dissatisfied, but neither one wants to come forward, or maybe one of them had come forward and the other person got rejected. Or maybe spirit is literally like blocking these two from coming forward because it's like not the right time. It's not the energy y'all need to be in. But I think that if you are the vulture person, the dolphin person really fantasizes about having a joyful reunion and kind of relinquishing all of this fear and all these burdens that they have. And so they're kind of doing, they're kind of releasing these burdens by releasing the attachment to outcome and trying to kind of ignore the connection in a way and not try to find clarity on it. It's kind of like they're turning away from it in every sense of the word. They might be hanging out with their friends and just focusing on what makes them happy in the moment and just following the fun in the meantime and what makes their heart happy, because maybe they don't want to necessarily settle down with someone else quite yet. I think they're open to it if they meet the right person, so be aware of that. But not to like pressure you on anything. Like if it is meant for you, it will happen. Same with both of these, and it's very obvious that there's a real connection here. But it's like you both have to be in alignment with it. And so I think overall you both fantasize about each other just in general, like, oh, what are they doing? What are they up to? Who are they hanging out with? Have they met someone better than me? No. I'll tell you that right now, no. And I think you both burden yourself with the events of the past. You might ruminate over what happened in the past. And I think that this is maybe a flaw that you both have, where you try to look for hints where they don't exist or overanalyze things to death. And so I think you both are realizing that maybe you both have sabotaged yourselves and sabotaged this connection in different ways through like your unhealed patterns and your unhealed traumas. But overall, I think you both acknowledge the higher truth of this connection. And what I find really hopeful about this is that a lot of this energy is minor arcana energy. So especially like the Ten of Wands and there's Swords, you know, the Ace of Swords in reverse, a lot of this energy just seems to be temporary. Like the more these two heal, like who knows where they might be in a couple of months. Actually, let's just go ahead and ask that. Fuck it. We're at pile 4. Why not? So let's just ask, as of right now, be aware that future energies are only dictated based upon, like, they're only the most likely outcome based upon the energy at this time. It can always change. These two have free will. So I'm just going to say, based on this current energy, Spirit, what does it look like this connection will be facing in the near future? So like 3 months. Let's go 3 months. The World. What else, Spirit? The Seven of Wands. The High Priestess. And on the back of the deck, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Let me cut the deck. Knight of Swords. So there could be communication and more hope. But what it kind of seems like is that within the next few months, both of you are going to be closing out much needed cycles and fighting for your right to party. No, just kidding. You're going to be maybe a bit defensive, but I don't think it's defensive. I think there's just going to be energies coming your way that are going to tempt you to want to fall back on whichever person you are, the habits that you've been trying to heal and transcend. And so it's kind of, you both are going to have to kind of embrace this kind of lamb attitude where you're soft and gentle with yourselves. And that is actually going to help you both become not only more in tune with one another, but more in tune with yourselves. But there is an energy of independence here. And you might find in these next few months that you are a little bit bored. But what I'm seeing here is that y'all are going to be getting your bag, and their much needed cycles are going to be closing out. So who knows, within the next 3 months, this could be getting you both in alignment for a fresh start, for something new. You know, after the World, we have the Fool, but I think at the end of the day, you will be able to intuitively feel it. And what I'm hearing from Spirit is if we ruin the surprise, it wouldn't be very fun. So just focus on your path and focus on what feels right to you. As I'm cutting the advice deck, we have flow, see where it takes you. But we are going to finish off with some advice before we take it into the 18 plus reading. So Spirit, what advice do you have for pile 4 when it comes to this connection? Lesson, wisdom through mistakes. We have the Sun, conscious mind, masculine, life force. We have healing. Allow light to enter your wounds. And we have breathe. And on the back of the deck, we have let go, relax and release. So yeah, Spirit is kind of confirming, you know, the first card you started with, release, and the last card here is release. And Spirit is saying, listen, we have your back on this. Like, if you two are in alignment, we will bring you two together. But I also think Spirit doesn't want you to be worried about making mistakes or messing anything up. This connection was represented by the stone. Like, you can't mess this connection up. It doesn't break easily like a vase, but your ego may break that way. Your heart may break that way. Your perception may break that way. But what Spirit is trying to get you to understand is that through these difficult life lessons, whether this person re-enters your life or not, you're gaining wisdom through every single connection, and you deserve happiness. You deserve this healing. And it's almost like no matter which person you are, you both kind of need to take charge and find your own inner light, focus on what you can control, and take action towards the things that you want. And when it comes to this connection, focus on healing yourself and healing the connection in any way you can. With this breathe, inhale, exhale, create space within, I feel like you both need to create space for new. And it's not just, and I don't mean like new people, but I mean new energies in order for this to be truly aligned. Because I think that you both need to understand that it's okay to make mistakes, to stop putting so much pressure on yourself, because all of this is allowing you to heal and to, you know, you guys chose this Labradorite rose, which Labradorite is a very psychic stone. And it always makes me think of the ever unfolding rose, which it says cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. I'm going to pull another card as well. Yeah. Okay. We have, okay, I guess both of these are wanting to come through. So we have guidance. You are divinely guided. And caution, keep your guard up and speak up. So I think with the caution, keep your guard up, don't be afraid of that. I think it's just a sign that, like, make sure that you don't, when it comes to like keeping your guard up, I think it's just making sure that you don't get yourself hurt, if that makes sense. Like, you might be so eager to let something in or someone in that's new or that's exciting that people might come in with the same patterns as this person, or they might not be as honest as they seem. But this might not even be like things. This could just be like, be careful, be safe. You know, if like, oh, I really got myself in a pickle here. Because I know this caution card will scare people, but I think it's just, don't get so, I think maybe be careful who you talk to about this connection. I don't think everybody will understand this. And I would say when it comes to, you need to keep, I see what it is. You need to keep your guard up against your mind and your anxiety. Because if you're trying to manifest this, if you're trying to create this, or you're trying to create new things, this fear is going to hold you back. And so Spirit wants you to have a cautious, because we also have speak up here, use your voice to express yourself. Spirit will bring you what you want. You both are powerful manifestors. So make sure you are keeping your guard up against your mind, and that you're keeping your mind healthy so that you can follow your own inner guidance and follow the guidance that Spirit is giving you, and you can stay in your truth. Because if you don't want this connection, Spirit will not force it on you. If you want someone new, Spirit will bring it in. But if you're, this week, oh, I want this connection, and next week, fuck this person, I don't want this connection, Spirit's like, I don't know what to give you. It's like red light, green light, red light, green light. And so it's just slowing everything down, and then you just doubt your abilities and what you deserve. So don't do that. But pile 4, I'm going to leave this reading here. If you want to join me in the extended, we are going to look at your person's sexual fantasies, or 18 plus fantasies, and we're also going to get some channel messages from the Lover's Oracle and some further advice as well. But if you are leaving me here, thank you guys so much for watching this all the way through, and thank you so much to everyone who has been watching my ads. That is the simplest and easiest way to support me. But if you want other ways to support me, my merch is linked down below, as well as my new Instagram, since scammers got my old one deleted. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you left a like. Definitely comment down below. Let me know how it resonates. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you subscribed and joined our little fam. Thank you guys so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this. And I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye.